dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. I get this feeling when I'm running on empty, like I'm on fire and there's nothing left to burn. The chance to blow it all to hell is so tempting. It's now or never, 'cause you never learn. I get up, I get down, kiss the sky, hit the ground. Don't know why, don't know how. I get high, I get low, I got no place to go. Light my fuse, I'll explode. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. I get this feeling when I'm so close to breaking. I can't see straight and my vision blurs. I get up, I get down, kiss the sky, hit the ground. Don't know why, don't know how. I get high, I get low, I got no place to go. Light my fuse, I'll explode. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. create, getting crushed beneath their weight. I'm paralyzed, it's killing me. I only wish to be okay. I feel the same, but they will never see. Can you feel the heat? I'll surrender before my defeat. I guess I'll wear my course and now I'm absolute. All these voices inside who I think to decide that I'm reaching out in vain. Though this empty shell is everything. Why did I have to be this way? Hiding in shadows I create, getting crushed beneath their weight. I'm paralyzed, it's killing me. I only wish to be okay. I feel the same, but they will never see. I take my shape as I'm fading away, just to stay on the wall, just a name to decay. Tired of playing someone else's part, just to fail again, fail again. I say my shape as I'm fading away, and I'm tired of playing someone else's part. Is it all in my head? Is it all in my head? Is it all for redemption? Is it all in my head? Is it all in my head? I think I'm starting to see. Is it all in my head? Is it all in my head? Is this just a perception? Why did I have to be this way? Hiding in shadows I create, getting crushed beneath their weight. I'm paralyzed, it's killing me. I only wish to be okay. I feel the same, but they will never see. I'm all listen to me, I've been wrong before, but now I can see what's worth fighting for. Open your eyes, without effort no prize. People rising and stakes and get out of your head.
Hello there, folks. Welcome to the North American Challengers Elite Stage 3 community stream. My name is McCormick. Alongside myself is Jesse, Cruz, and Spaz. We've got a good match for you. Fantastic Four, New York Subliners Academy face off. Both teams hungry for wins here, but more importantly, Fantastic Four are going to need this to go ahead and find themselves back at 500 to get 2-2. For the New York Subliners Academy, 2-0 already here instead of the round robins, looking for a nice hot 3-0 start to continue what would be, I guess, a continuation of their Stage 1 roster that was able to win playoffs. Absolutely. Like I said, 2-0 start already. They beat the likes not only of BBG, but they also went ahead and were able to take down UT Crew in a 3-1 victory. And really unbeknownst to anybody, this team is fantastic at respawns, and this is where they can really capitalize on their opponents, specifically on the side of Fantastic Four, who have really shown inconsistencies and a lot of struggle in the specific maps of Hardpoint. I believe. Look, you roll with the punches, Jesse. You roll with the punches. Huge. Specifically speaking, though, this is a community stream, so if you do want to catch the live stream for the Call of Duty Challengers, go ahead, hop on over to youtube.com/COD Challengers, and you can see the main live stream there with Bryce, Ton, and Dream Crazy as it stands. But here on the community stream, we are going to be focusing on specifically the Fantastic Four and the New York Subliners Academy. On the main stream, they are covering right now the match between Easter and UT Crew. So again, we got to hit on that. Please go ahead and check that out as well. You can tab both of them at the same time, keep us here, but focus your attention there and here at the same time. It's also the same thing. But Jesse, can we hear you through the stream? That's something we got to make sure real quick. I don't know. I hope so as well, but okay, well, anyways, folks, right now, map number 1, let's look at our best of 5 map set. First and foremost, we're going to be heading over towards a Moscow hardpoint. Second map will be a Checkmate S&D, where the side of New York Subliners Academy have played a map already. They were able to win that 6-4, so technically having the advantage in that second map over the side of Fantastic Four. Garrison for map number 3 and 4, and if we need to go all the way to the end for map number 5, it will be Express. And unfortunately for the side of Fantastic Four, the one map that they have struggled on consistently throughout the entirety of stage 3 has been that final map 5 on Express, where they've lost 4-6 and unfortunately 1-6 on the last time they did play it. So both of the series that they've lost have been in game 5 scenarios where they've lost on Express. Hopefully if they do get there this time, maybe you can change it around a little bit, but for the most part, Jesse, it's going to be an uphill battle, and it starts with map number 1 in the hardpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the really the key to the victory, honestly, for Fantastic Four, if you're going to give a keys to victory here, it's going to be coming out and taking this first hardpoint. They've been very, very rough on hardpoint,
Sure.
like we were saying as we were heading into this. So that's really going to be the map and mode that I think both of us highlighting going into this that they were going to need to do. And before what we were kind of talking about before my mic became unmuted was the Checkmate Search and Destroy. It's good that they got Checkmate out. I think this is the only map and mode combo that I would have allowed them to maybe want to have Checkmate to come through. So definitely not the worst case scenario having Checkmate in a Search and Destroy. It's a lot slower pace, but I mean, in any respawn, it's great that they were able to get Checkmate out of there against NYSL.
Yeah. Fantastic Four, for those of you who remember from stage 2, they were the team at least that was able to take victory in the playoffs. However, basically an entire new roster besides from Decimate here. You've got Methods coming in, you've got Slack coming in, and Fires in for Dave Patty, who took some time off from Call of Duty as well. So with that 4-man roster, you had to replace Sib and Draza. Now Sib's on Easter with the likes of Gravity and the co. Draza, obviously, we know where he is, making a splash inside of the CDL. So again, it's one of those situations where you're forced to have to step up, find a couple of new players. Essentially, it's 3 new players on the team trying to find that chemistry. Hopefully, again, they can do it here inside of this best of 5 series, get themselves back to 500 at a 2-2 record, which would really bode well for them having at least a chance not only to make playoffs, because they're not in a great spot to make playoffs at this point, but of course, get a little bit further past that and eventually make a deeper run once they start figuring out that synergy and their chemistry. However, Jesse, map number 1, Fantastic Four, NYSL Academy, Moscow hardpoint. We talked specifically how the side of Fantastic Four needs to capitalize here early on. They have to take map number 1 over the side of NYSL Academy, because if they don't, they risk going down 0-1. We know how good NYSL can be at map number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you take this map number 1 against NYSL Academy, you still got to be worried, because these guys can take any one of the next couple maps as well. They are just such a good, well-rounded team that, I mean, it's just going to be very, very tough to win this series in general. So, I mean, you got to start off as hot as possible. And, I mean, they've got the right side spawns as well for P2 here. So, I mean, I think that the key to this map right now is just try to get as much time as you can right off the bat, get off to a hot start here, and just really try to roll with that punch all the way through.
ARs are going to be huge here. Look for Hamza, look for Spart. Those 2 players going to be those 2 rocking the ARs, trying to get map control, but more importantly, those eventual spawns, once we do have to start talking about rotations in about 20 seconds. So if you look at your mini-map and pay attention, you see player number 4 spawn up in towards that back police department. That's going to be the side of Fantastic Four, who are going to hold on for now. Des and Fire will go ahead and find 2 apiece, and as they go ahead and get those kills, it's going to spawn this out of New York Subliners Academy all the way out over towards Eskies and give them the eventual P2 spawns.
Yeah, they've done a good job of holding on to these, but they might end up getting a spawn out here depending when the hill pops and when the players regen, but they hold their cams just for long enough. But they're in a bad position right now with how far back they're pushed, because if New York Subliners is able to push forward, get these kills on them, they will force the spawn out on the players of Fantastic Four, but they were able to regain, get a couple kills for themselves, and now they have like actually gotten hold of their spawn.
Subliners try to create a pinch play there. Unfortunately, it was instead of Fantastic Four who were able to come back through the offside Eski spawn and get back on towards P2. So NYSL, they did a nice job being able to get a bit of time in point number 1. It was a contest fest for the, well, about 15-20 seconds of it. As they start making their way back over towards the point, it's going to be Dece who finds 3. And, well, as Desi, he's no stranger to being able to get 2 to 3 pieces. That SMG firepower from the side of Fantastic Four has done a great job of being able to push and elevate the side of Fantastic Four over their adversaries, specifically in control and search and destroy. It's been great in hardpoint as well. We saw a great match between them and the side of Built by Gamers beforehand. This map specifically, where it was a crazy comeback for Fantastic Four. But as we start to talk about those rotations over towards P3, Subliners Academy, they got out early, they rotated on over, and they're going to be the benefactors of this hill time early on.
And NYSL, they got to be very careful right now. They don't want to allow Fantastic Four to be able to string these 2 hills together, as this game could end up getting out of control very quickly. But they are able to get hold of their spawn in the back, and so this should really help them out right now. Fantastic Four, if they want to be able to break this, it's now going to basically have to be a hit from the front, hitting from the back at this point of the hill. It's not going to be too beneficial for them, and I mean, they're still going to try and decimate. He's able to get him from the front, so definitely not the worst break for them, and still working out pretty in their favor.
On the back of a pinstripe kill feed, the Subliners Academy, they retake over towards P3. And realistically speaking, Fantastic Four, they can push this all they want to, at least try to get a little momentum. But as Spark finds 3 to open up the door for rotations, you're going to see player number 5 and Hamza be the first one there. But 4 in a row from Spark. Hopefully we can hop on here with him in just a second. He's going to be the one trying to look over towards the back. And he's going to see Desi all the way back. Pulls out the 74U instead of the Krig. However, as he'll fall, streaks off the table, at least for the time being for the Subliners. They'll rotate on over towards P3, but it'll be a futile effort as Fantastic Four, they got it early.
Yeah, and NYSL in that, or sorry, Fantastic Four in that last hill, that was fantastic. They didn't ever get the back spawns, but I think NYSL only got, what, 20 seconds on that hill, maybe? And so they held the spawns the entire time, and they weren't able to get really anything going. They were able to contest a ton of time, and now they're able to push over towards this last hill. Already set off to a great start here. It's just going to be a hit from the front from New York Subliners. I mean, Fantastic Four setup, they know exactly where it's coming from.
One thing you're going to see from the side of the Subliners Academy that really has trended it throughout the entirety of Stage 3 thus far is that when Hamza and Spart are running those AR duo together, they're going to be getting the majority of the hill time for the most part, a lot of the maps. However, thus far, we really haven't seen them be able to kind of hop in towards that point, stay alive with the SMG power, and that also comes off the Prelude's 4 and 8 start here. Not hot out of the gates, could turn that around as we get further into this Moscow. It's only the first rotation of hard points, 30 points separate these two teams as we start to get back over towards point number 1. And, well, look who's there. It's going to be Prelude, who's unfortunately not having a great game. Should be able to get a little bit of hill time, but his team potentially back in the lead, or at least just play the contest for now.
I think one thing we got to talk about here, Corn, as well, is that the fact that there are 2 minutes off of the game clock already through the first set of rotations. So that is definitely something we should be keeping our eye on as this game goes along, as well as this game has been super contest heavy all the way through. And I would be very surprised if we don't see it continue to stay this contest heavy. Fantastic Four, they are still in hold of those spawns for P2 right now. And I mean, that's what they're putting their full focus towards. They got a good amount of time last time through on that hill, and they want to try to do it again here.
And we're going to see Slack try to push up over towards Eski. He's made a great play to start pinching around through middle map. However, it's going to be Desi who comes through and finds one there onto Saints. Doesn't read a second player coming through the Eski, so that's time in middle map with the contest. But that's going to spawn player number 3 and fire all the way back over towards P3. So although they spawn out and they get the parallels with the set of Subliners Academy over towards that street, they're still going to be able to technically hold on to those back spawns for now. Once again, though, you've highlighted the time beforehand. Still a lot of contest over towards that point. But as Fantastic Four gave up the majority of their back spawn protection over towards Police Department, that allowed the Subliners to break in, but they're going to spawn close as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a pinch coming in as well, because you have Prelude in the back, and I don't think Fantastic Four have realized this. They will now, as Prelude's going to give his position away, but he's able to at least find one that's so huge in the back for them. And if he can find the second player up top, it'd be so big, and he will. So that's basically going to flip these spawns back in favor of NYSL.
It's big, but it's parallels, right? Because you've got the player now up towards the back, and sure, you're going to be able to have that nice elevated power position, but, I mean, they're going to get 3, and eventually number 4 here as Hamza pushes them towards the point. So Desi will fall. They'll get the last 25 seconds of scrap, but now you're in the inverse position of where you were last time. Subliners Academy, they rotated early, and that's how they were able to kind of claw their way back in, I guess you could say, with about 30 points over towards P3. Now they don't have that buffer to get back into the game. They're going to rely on the scrap time, but more importantly, they're going to have to push up towards the map. Player number 4 spawns on the off, so it's going to be a 3 versus 3 on the takeover towards the point number 3.
And it's just really Fantastic Four. They only have 2 players here right now that are just having to hold on to this. And Prelude's found streaks. He's on 7 in a row. Only needs 1 more to find that final streak. So this is where it starts to get a little bit scary if you are a fan of Fantastic Four, because NYSL, they've come back into this game, and they can really, really try to break this open with a couple of streaks here if he's able to find that last one. But so far, so good for Fantastic Four. They're able to hold it from the front. Streaks will start to rain in. But that's the worst case scenario. Prelude, he's going to find his own teammate with it. Oh, okay. At least he finds the cruise. At least he gets the cruise out of it. Oh,
yeah. Well, Jesse, I got to say real quick, I highlighted Proloot not having a great start. Goes ahead and finds 8 in a row, but unfortunately, Fantastic Four will go ahead and hold on to the time over towards point number 3. Up towards the front, Desi and Slack will combine for 1 team shots, being the most beneficial point factor here, but Proloot starts to make this play back over towards middle. He's going to be able to find 1. Contest for a second. Stun's going to come around the corner. Going to be able to find fire. Shots are there. Going to try and push over towards the janitor office, but it is going to be Methods who comes over the top to find 1. Proloot there still trying to fly it through, but as Methods finds 4 in a row, could counteract the streaks from the side of New York Subliners Academy, and they've got P3 already locked down, looking to hold on with the ARs over the top.
Oh, I was going to say, give him 5. He almost got the 6th as well, but unfortunately, he's going to fall inside the hill. So, I mean, Proloot still got that streak for this hill, and I mean, I feel like this would be a hill that would be pretty good to use the streak on, but I think he's going to use it on probably a P2 or a P3 through our next set of rotations. And one more time, I think we got to start looking at that game clock as we're hitting right around a minute 30, as this map is very contest-heavy map. But Fantastic Four, I think one thing that I think they've done very well so far is through the first 2 sets of rotations, if they haven't gotten P2, they've gotten majority of time on P3. So it's really been keeping them in this game here, and so far so good for them. They just got to keep it up.
New York Subliners, map number 1s, them winning their hard points. It's been synonymous thus far. Teams that they've played seemingly have not been the greatest hardpoint teams. Specifically, Fantastic Four was one of those anomalies that we were saying, okay, although they've struggled with hardpoint thus far, they have an opportunity to take an odd map off of the Subliners Academy that they have not had the chance to play yet in Moscow, and they're doing a great job thus far. We're done with 2 rotations of hardpoints. Only a minute 30 left here in the inside of this game through, so realistically speaking, you know, you're going to get even more contests here as you're starting to fly towards this point. This could be a game that doesn't come down to the 250, just one that comes down to the end of time and who's really in the most advantageous position at that point.
I mean, you're going to get even more contests there until NYSL drops all 4 bodies on the side of Fantastic Four, and they say, hey, no, this is our hard point. We're going to keep on to this for now. But you'll see Slack, he'll just hop on into a contest spot for the time being. And Fantastic Four, all 3 times through to P2, they've held onto these spawns. They've been ready to go. And, I mean, it's held a lot of time for them here. But NYSL, even when they're not holding on to those big money hills, they're just doing such a good job on these contest-heavy hills of getting time to keep them in this game right now. And this game is going to go completely down to the wire here.
If you'll take a look at your scoreboard, folks, Hamza on 4, looking for 5, potentially 6, won't be able to find the last kill. So there's streaks off the table for the side of Subliners Academy. However, we do have to mention, Proloot does have that cruise missile in the back pocket, ready to use for utility, maybe to break over towards P3. And I think that's what they're kind of thinking of here, especially as they take the lead for the first time by just a singular point. So as they try to pivot the push over towards the street, they're going to be able to find 2. Now it's going to be where the spawns come in for the side of Fantastic Four. In the back. Now you have to have your assault through the front. You've got to get in through the mouth of the Fantastic Four. You're not able to do so. You got 1 player left alive. Desi's gonna find the last couple of shots. Once again, Methods on 4, 24 and 15, 53 seconds throughout map number 1. They're looking great to pull ahead once again. Subliners have to be careful here, and especially with that time dwindling almost to under a minute.
Yeah, I mean, and NYSL, they don't invest the cruise missile there simply because they want to save it. They want to try to break it with their gun skill so they can use that cruise missile to break onto P3 the next time through. Unfortunately for them, though, they don't win the gunfights, and this is going to give the entire full 62 Fantastic Four on this hill. So Fantastic Four, they should eclipse that 200-point mark very shortly. They'll be right around, 40 seconds away from winning this game, and it's really just going to have to be perfect Call of Duty pretty much from this point on from NYSL.
Well, Proloot's going to get those shots and spots out fire over towards the street, so they're going to know where that player is able to win a huge one-on-one. But look where player number 4 spawns, all the way in the back, so Slack could be the one that makes the play here. Lays down. Nobody's going to know that he's back here yet, so he could be the dagger in New York Subliners' plans. Here he comes. Slack starting to push up the map now. If he's able to find Spart, maybe Hamza. Spart's going to be the first one to fall. Hamza's going to turn around immediately. Will it matter? No, it's going to be Fire who gets shots over the top. Now the trophy system will hold on for the time being. Proloot's there. Proloot won't find the second. So as New York Subliners Academy, they rotated early. The Fantastic Four, they break back in off an incredible spawn from Slack, but even more important, the play that he was able to make, staying alive and not being spotted out. But here comes a street cruise, and it's going to find 2.
Oh, sneaky. I actually don't think he ends up finding the second one there, but still, nonetheless, the fact you're able to find 1 and just slow down that push from Fantastic Four, that's the reason why you see him hover it there as well, is because it stops all the players on Fantastic Four from being able to push out. But, yeah, they're just not going to be able to get back in. The good thing for NYSL is, though, they do hold on to the spawns one more time over here. The issue is, though, is you just can't get broken like you've been getting broken over here consistently. So they're going to have a perfect hold here. And, I mean, they have a very good zone out right now. Oh, but until Two of them fall in the middle, and that's going to open up the whole left side for Fantastic Four.
Hamza can't get the kill there. It's going to be Spart, last one alive and towards the point. Can't get spotted over towards the right, or can he? Fire gets the shots there, and now the clock's going to dwindle down even further. 20 seconds left in the game. Fantastic Four back in towards the point, and even if the contest does come through here, you've got to make sure, if you're on the side of the subliners, that you get in the point and make sure everybody from Fantastic Four is off. So here comes Prelude. Prelude's going to be the one making this charge up. They spotted him out. They know that he's in doggy. They know that he's trying to hop up through the office here. He's going to be able to get inside, but with 6.9 seconds left, if you're Fantastic Four, you can either throw bodies, you can contest, or you can do the likes and just go ahead and find the kills over the top as well. Here's Spart there. Slack's gonna find one. Nobody in towards the point. Saints, you gotta go, but your teammate is there for the time being. You gotta get up. You gotta get in. Methods is there. Fantastic Four, despite all odds, take map number 1 by a margin of 21 points, and they'll start up 1-0 in a series that they desperately need.
That's literally the best way they could have started this series off. They take a hard point off of the undefeated hard point team in the side of, or sorry, not undefeated, but they were 6-1 in hard point for NYSL. So I mean, great job from them, and it's exactly what they needed to do. Or sorry, I am all over the place right now, and I apologize, Corn, but they were 3-0 going into that on hard point, finally dropping a hard point. But I mean, like we said, that game clock, man, it really became an issue at the end of the map, and New York Subliners, they just could not get on the hills.
My goodness. Okay. Apparently I was muted too. Okay. This is all over the place, but
Oh
what I was
my
going to
God.
say there, Cruz, is here's the thing, right? You know, when you have a team that's getting on the point, like the side of the Subliners Academy and the Fantastic Four, when that clock is dwindling down, it wasn't the fact that they couldn't get on the point. It was the fact that they were struggling to break onto it and get the actual time from that hill. So, for example, point number 1, we always say it's going to be a contest fest. What was it there? Same exact thing. Contest all the way around. Over towards point 2, both teams were able to get each other off of that point for extended amounts of time, but really what it came down to at the end there, you had a minute to play with over towards P3, and, well, the Subliners, they come through. They're able to break in, and then when Slack came through at the very end there and was able to get a little bit of time in their favor, that's when they were able to jump ahead by about 20 seconds. But realistically speaking, it was almost futile towards the end of it. But we'll take a look over now to a live look in between LAG Academy and TMNT. We're in the Miami Search and Destroy here. It is the side of TMNT who is up 1-0 over the side of LAG. On an offensive round here, though, from the side of Lamagod and Co. with the rest of TMNT, they're going to be looking to push over towards A, and you'll realize that the mini-map is covered there because teams obviously don't want to give away anything.
Yeah, this is LAG's first time actually getting into the Challengers Elite League as well. So good on them. They were able to find some success finally for this LAG Academy team. And looks right now like they do end up losing that first game to Parasites team in TMNT, but so far so good for them here in the Search and Destroy. Up 1-0. They're able to find 3 kills here in this round as well. This bomb should probably go down soon, you would imagine, but it's only Mochilla left for TMNT. He's spotted out. You got to imagine this is going to be a round win for LAG.
Yeah, he's just going to push out over towards the top. Everybody going to start to swarm, and well, there it is, LAG. They take the round there. They're up 2-0 now over the side of TMNT, and realistically speaking, that just is great all around for the side of LAG. They play it slow. They play it methodical. They're able to get those first 3 kills in relatively quick succession as well, and once you're able to get those kills and are able to spot out in singularity that last player alive, swarm around like a boa constrictor, suffocate your prey, cut them off from the source.
Yeah, absolutely. Interested to see what they try to do here on their offense. So I was completely wrong. They were on defense last round. I am really just all over the place right now. And have to see what they decide to do. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more of a hit over towards the A side here. And, or sorry, towards the B side. And it looks like there's 2 players set up for TMNT towards the back in a 2-2 split right now, really. But they have complete garage control, too. So, I mean, they should be able to get this bomb out, try to push it down. It's really going to be up to just Glory and Lamagod in the back to shut this down.
That's all over the top. Semtex there. Still a 4 versus 4 with about a minute left on the clock. Bomb could go down, but really for LAG, you've pushed up onto the site, so you've got at least a foot in the door. Could potentially go ahead and find not only that first blood, but the bomb as well. So 45 seconds left. Time now on the side of a TMNT to get back, contest, but more importantly, get the defuse as well. LAG looking great on the post-plant push.
It's really just Exceed here. He's just sitting here trying to just watch over everything. And Nero is in just a perfect spot to watch this bomb as well. It's going to be a very, very tough retake for TMNT. They have to find all the kills and also get him off of that position when he can just check that bomb, hop back up, go back down, and just like completely keep watching. It's a perfect setup from the LAG Gorillas. They're just not going to get shut down here. It's just one of those spots. Like, look, they actually did find the kill though. So Only one left, but like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just one of those spots though. You don't lose rounds when you get the bomb down. You have that post plant position.
Sure. I mean, a good round there once again by LAG. You take your third consecutive one in a row. This time it's going to be on the offensive side. Llama just looking to find that last player alive for LAG, but plays his life, make sure that he can't get there in that 7.2 seconds amount of time. But realistically speaking, it almost was a breakdown for LAG. You had TMNT start to come back over towards the point. You get those kills, and although it does come down to a 1 versus 1, sure, it comes down to the veteran S&D plays, but more importantly, Llama God maybe gets some unfortunate timing on the last player from the side of LAG, and you're looking at a round win that really absolutely just came out of nothing. It just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, well, like you said, they got that bomb down completely for free, right? So they were able to put up whatever post plant setup they really wanted to, and that setup, like we were saying in that last round, that's just one of those ones that's really, really tough to break. They're even able to find basically all the kills except for the one onto Mental. But even if they hop on that bomb, all Mental has to do at the end of that is slide out, challenge it, and it's basically done one more time over. You can see TMNT, they're trying to put a lot of pressure as well over towards this site. Mental is a player very far pushed forward, and look at this, LAG's, they're just finding all the kills right now. Parasite's going to be the only one left. He falls as well. LAG, they're making this search and destroy look so easy right now.
When you win 4 rounds in a row, you win 2 offenses, 2 defenses, but really the most important thing to me and the standout of it has been those 2 offensive pushes. Last time we saw them go over towards the defensive side of A, they shut down the side of TMNT. The last time they go to B, they shut down TMNT once again. Yeah. And it all comes down to those long-range gunfights that they're able to find with the Krigs. You've got 3 players on 2 sprees, nobody even close to negative on the team whatsoever. Really start to expect that from a team that's up 4-0, but Miami has been their mainstay. LAG Academy are really, really good on this map. For whatever reason, they go from Apocalypse, Hardpoint being a great team there to now an S&D map where statistically speaking, they should be good at, and they dominated as well. It's a short map compared to a long-range map that they've just been able to find their footing, and they're a versatile team.
They just have complete control right now of anything that they want to do. They're finding every single kill, pushing out these lives so well. Bomb should go down again here for free, and it's going to have to be another 2 versus 4 retake for TMNT. They have the exact same post plant position set up here one more time. Nero, I'm assuming he's just going to run back and watch from water. It's just really beautiful to see, honestly, out of them right now.
Hawks finds the kill once again. 3 versus 1. These rounds have gone by so quick for the side of LAG in their wins. Mochilla once again in a 1v odd situation. LAG on the offense win round number 5 in a row. And this is what it comes down to, Jesse. It just comes down to these aggressive rounds where you're able to get top purple control on the offensive side. When you push Mochilla towards the top, Mental's able to find them both. It's, hey, what does it boil down to then? Maybe a 2 versus 4, 2 versus 3 scenario where you're once again playing off the back foot?
Yeah, it's one of those situations, but it's just so tough to be able to even try to beat when a team is playing this good on a map and mode. It's like for TMNT, it's got to be demoralizing too, because everything that they've tried to do so far on this map and mode combo, like look at this, he's got the first shots down range, and NXT just beams him. Like they can't get anything going. I would imagine this map is probably just chalk for them at this point.
Good news for TMNT, you're up 1-0 in the series.
That's true.
Got a couple players pushing over towards A, but a huge gunfight there once again. For Exceed on 5 is able to find yet another kill. Glory and Llama just have to play back and wait for one player to come into their miss. Llama's going to be able to spot one up towards the top. There's Mental once again, also on 5. Exceed will fall. No, Glory just... He just RB crawling up middle map here, dude. It's chalk from behind. There it is. LAG, a 6-0 win, an absolute stomping of TMNT. Will go ahead and give them that versatile 1-1 leverage in the series. They're back to square one between both of these two teams. Now it's going to be on the side of TMNT to turn it around for control, which they can do. Now it's going to be on the side, especially since they're a good respawn team.
Absolutely. I mean, well, Corn, that is absolutely one way to get yourself back into a series right there. But now we got to kind of focus on this one a little bit here. We got to hop back into it. We're going to be heading towards Search and Destroy on Checkmate shortly. Yep. So this I like this map pick, honestly, from Fantastic Four. It's one of those maps where it's going to be very AR heavy. NYSL, they have very good ARs, but Fantastic Four, they are no slouch. I mean, you got Methods. He was one time a Pro League player, correct? You got Decimate, who is just a fantastic AR. So this is really what it's going to come down to. And I really find a lot of times Checkmate Search and Destroy, it comes down to one, winning your defense, but you got to start to steal an offense here and there. Sure. And those early rounds, you got to make sure inside that plane you're able to really dodge around a lot of grenades. So it's a lot of shaking, a lot of just playing very patiently in early rounds, and then just being able to pounce on those flanks at the right moments.
Sure. And, you know, for the set of Fantastic Four, going into this, you haven't lost a map number 2 yet. So here's an opportunity, once again, to give yourselves an opportunity to take a 2-0 series lead over a very, very good New York Subliners Academy roster. And if you just take a look down the list here, I mean, you take a look at where UT Crew was able to beat the set of Subliners Academy. It was on Miami 6-5. Although it's not checkmate, it's a similar map play style where it is going to be a lot more of those passive pushes, aggressive with the ARs at long range, but also getting up close and personal in towards top lane with the SMGs, comparable in the likes of the gunfights you're going to be finding. Map number 1 here, though, is going to be the side of the Subliners on the offensive side.
I think the only thing that I would be a little bit worried for in this map pick from Fantastic Four is they have not played this map mode combo in Challengers Elite yet. But if you're the NYSL, you have played this one time before. You got a 6-4 win overbuilt by gamers and already off to a good start. Hamza is able to pick up that first blood, and it's on offense as well. And once you get that first blood on offense, it makes it so much easier to push through, get that bomb down on that B site. And it's really going to be up to Decimate. They have to try to find another pick, and Decimate is basically going to be having to solo push this and hold on to them and shut this push down.
NYSL, complete control of top lane right now. They've got 3 players up there. Decimate just on the back staircase looking for an out to get in towards the plane.
And a free plant.
That's probably it's going to get the bomb down. Decimate's going to know that they're there, but it's going to be those wall bangs that are going to come over the top. However, as Slack finds one, Slack gets the shots onto the second. Is going to get spotted out here and towards middle map. Hamza just barely able to escape with his life, and now they know exactly where Slack is. 6 bullets, and the Mag Subliners with the round win. Offensive strikes first. It's looking great so far.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Slack there. I mean, even if he finds those kills, I don't know if he's able to full on push back and be able to win that because of the pick that comes on to fire just after. But still, just nonetheless, a great opening round from the side of New York Subliners. They were to push in, find that first opening blood, and just play it very slow inside the plane. And it's exactly what you need to do on offense to win rounds.
Fantastic Four. What do you have on the offensive side? Can you combat the aggressiveness that NYSL sent up in towards top lane last time? You're going to have to. Because if that showed anything, it shows that the side of NYSL, they want to be aggressive on the map. They want to get pushed up, even on the defensive side. And as you're going to see, Spart, over towards the right side wing, hops up, looks for a couple players. Just going to play his angles, play his life here for the time being. But you got 2 players on the side of Fantastic Four up towards the top lane. You now have that spotted out. Spark can back off now, knowing that there's a couple players up towards the top. But you gave Fantastic Four the technical plane control for the time being. So as it stands, minute left on the round, still looking for that not only first blood, but as Spark finds 2, that's going to be even more difficult if you're the side of Fantastic Four. Oh, they make it 3. Can you go for 4? No, but it's damn near close.
I was right there with you. Just give them all 4. But yeah, NYSL, they are piecing together this Fantastic Four team right now. And this was the scary part. This is what we were talking about going into the series off screen a little bit, me and you. We were like, yeah, it would be so great if Fantastic Four could come out here and win that first hard point. But like, does it really matter that much if they win that first hard point? Because NYSL, they can take any map mode combo, really, it does feel like. So Decimate does make this a 1 versus 2, though. He does have that bomb. He can try to put it down here, but Hamza is trying to watch that. I don't think he spots him. So bomb will go down here.
That's the best part.
He's got to get away, though.
Oh my God, he gets out towards the wing, so he's going to be able to get behind him. One-on-one gunfight here. Can he go ahead and find the shots? No, unfortunate timing. He just gets there an inkling too quickly. And as Hamza is able to find the kill, Saints will grab the defuse, and that'll be another round win to NYSL. Their aggressiveness, well, pays off. They're up 2-0.
Damn, that's so unfortunate. Like literally 1 second later, and he probably gets both kills there.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, that's COD timing at its finest right there. Great opening round here from Spart, though. He's able to find 2 pushing through the plane, and then just finds methods. Very, very weak. Only needs a shot or 2 to clean him up. But I mean, if Spart's going to be able to find 3 pieces like that through the middle of the plane, that's going to be a very easy game win for the side of the New York Subliners. That is for sure. Already off to a nice 2-0 start here. Spartan, unfortunately for him, he does fall off of those 5 in a row. Would have loved to have found streaks later on in this game as well. They do have trophies now, so they can try to hit this even faster this time through without the worry of being able to be hit by nades coming from the defense.
Obviously a different start here for the Subliners. Early on in this game, they were down to the Fantastic Four on the hard point, and, well, the same thing remains, though. Prolute, bit of a slow start. We saw how he was able to turn it up towards the end and almost be able to make that comeback against Fantastic Four on the hard point, but a must-win scenario with them up 1-0 in the series. Subliners Academy looking once again to strike first here on the offensive side with a pick.
And really, that's all it's going to come down to right now is both teams are just trying to find a pick. And you can see player number 5 is actually sitting all the way back. The reason he's back there is to shut down any type of flank to push on through. But the NYSL, they are able to tie it back up. Oh my God, just trades are going down back and forth like crazy right now. We thought we wanted 1 pick. We just seen 4.
Methodist gets the stun, is able to check it as he comes around the corner somehow with the Krig, is able to win the gunfight. Now Saints in a peculiar spot, something exactly like we saw last round, quite literally. Fantastic for this time, and the benefactors of their little bit of a passive push there on the defensive side. They hold on strong, but more importantly, Methods with that kill up and towards the plane not only saves the plant from coming through, but makes it a 2 versus 1. And that might have been the biggest kill of the game thus far, especially considering they could have went down 0-3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you'd much rather be down 2-1 than 0-3, no doubt about that. And that kill from Methods on the bomb, what a ridiculous kill. Gets out with 6 HP, and then they're able to find the fourth one together. But just that was kind of an absurd gunfight win, if we're being completely honest here. And we can already see Fantastic Four, they're putting a lot of pressure over towards this A site right now, and kind of playing a weird off angle right now is player number 7. He's just stacked up on those boxes by where that 5th hard point normally is, but Slacked will find another opening blood, but Spark coming in from behind, able to find another one, and it's already another man advantage going back the way NYSL.
Well, that got scary. Look at Decimate. He's gonna wait for one to put on through. He's gonna be able to find the second one as well. It was very slight, but the trigger discipline pays off. It allows them to find both of those kills. However, they don't know where Spark is. Spark can play his life here, but he's not going to recognize that they're rotating back to the spawn.
I think he spotted one.
Spots out fire over towards the left, but the shots from the staircase come through. Fantastic Four, despite the 0-2 deficit to start off, they win an offense and in defense to tie things up at 2 apiece.
And it's all on the back of Decimate here. He plays this corner so perfectly. He sees the first one come through, doesn't shoot right away because the player does not check the corner. He's like, hey, let's see if there's a straggler. Finds the straggler as well. And then he even ends up finding the third one here. And it's just a great round from Decimate all overall.
You want to put as much space between you and the opponent so that shot punch isn't really a factor and could lead to a potential turn on. But more importantly, the 2-piece is huge there. But back on the offensive side, New York Subwinners, this is your opportunity to go ahead and adapt to what the Fantastic Four have done on the last defensive round. But more importantly, an opportunity to basically equalize back at 0-0. You won 2 rounds in a row, you've lost 2 in a row. Now, potentially be able to go back up 1 more here would put you at 3-2, but that would give you a little bit more of an advantage going back to the defensive side, specifically if Fantastic Four are able to counter to a more passive push here on the offensive side, and you get picked off once again.
You're getting a little bit of a different setup here from Fantastic Four on defense. So you got Decimate pushed all the way up onto the bomb. We haven't seen him play in this position yet here on defense. It's more so he's been playing back on that staircase. So doesn't have a trophy down, so he's got to be careful not to get naded out. But look at that. He is able to find the first blood. That at least slows down that offensive push from the subliners. Now you're going to have to make a rotation over with Methods. He needs to be the player to pick back up this mid lane. But, I mean, it's still going to be very, very tough for the side of NYSL to be able to push on through. They got to find this kill on Methods first, and they just can't. Methods able to pick up another one there. And, I mean, to push to this site and get a bomb down at a 2v3 is just so tough.
Hamza's going to be the difference maker. Can he find Slacked over towards AS&D? They know that he's there because of the Semtex that came through, and he hasn't seen the cross come back, but as Hamza finds the player up towards top, NASA can't get away with his life now, but once again, it's over towards the back staircase where we find our 1 versus 2 Methods once again with Krig in hand, is able to win an up-close gunfight against the 74. U3-2 advantage. And Fantastic Four, despite a slow start, they take their first lead of the game.
And Methods has got to be on streaks now, right? Like, close. He finished the last round with, what, 2 or 3? So I would imagine he's getting pretty close. Okay, no, I'm completely wrong. He must have died in between those rounds. So he's sitting at 3-3 right now. So I got a little antsy there. I thought he just found like his 5th in a row. Not going to be the case, though. And, well, Fantastic Four, forget the bomb at the site. That's not a great way to start off your round. You definitely want to be carrying that up. Your main objective is get it down right now. But going to be pushing in towards this B site right now. And just another very slow defense from the side of New York Subliners. But what they've done so well on defense so far is being able to find these picks early on. But Methods, he might be able to sneak around this corner, pick up a kill on Spark.
Well,
but they don't spot out.
Slacked is able to get the second one there too, so the play actually pays out in their favor. They're able to get the third player, and now it's all down to Hamza in a 1 versus 4. Team kill comes through. Oh, if he gets that kill on the Methods there, that's a completely different round. What turned from a 4v1 to a 1v2 very, very quickly. Unfortunately, doesn't go in the way of the NYSL roster. And this is getting out of hand here, Cruz. You're down 4-2 now.
Yeah, I mean, like, you win the first 2 rounds and you just allow Fantastic Four to rattle off round after round. Now we can start talking about these possible streaks for Methods. He's sitting on 4 in a row. He's definitely going to be trying to get these. And as a defensive round, it could definitely be a lot easier for him to get them here.
So see Team NT and LAG Academy, they're going to go ahead and start their control, rather getting towards the end of it as LAG is up 2-0. We saw a similar storyline yesterday, and hopefully I don't play Jinx again, but they did go to a game 5 against I mean, if anybody was watching yesterday, it was basically a 7-4 win for LAG in the control that they played, and that was off of 2 full map resets. But focusing our attention back to the search and destroy here on the screen. Fantastic Four. They've got the advantage in towards top lane, at least for positioning. Out on the wing, it's going to be Hamza, and then towards the back, you've got player number 4 in Spark just holding the angle. SMA trying to push on through, looking for the first pick. Neither team wants to give it up, specifically the subliners, who have a lot to lose on this round.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a must-win round for the side of the New York Subliners. Prolut's in a very good spot, too. You can absolutely try to make a push through the back here. It's just going to come down to timing, though. If he can find the window to push on through, they only have 27 seconds left to try to get this bomb down at some point. So they got to make a decision here. You need to decide, hey, are we going to push in through, get this bomb down at B, or is this going to be a play where we try to make the flank? Looks like it's going to be the earlier of the two, and they're going to try to get it over on towards this B side, but it's all going to be on Desi to shut this down.
Decimate knows, but look at where Slacked is playing from the wing. He's going to be trying to find at least 1 or 2 players, but he could hop up here through the window. Going to be able to spot the player that's trying to get the bomb down. Hamza's got to come around the corner, but now you don't have time to get the bomb down. Fire all the way in the back of the map will stay alive. Plays the situation perfectly to a T. Clinical S&D from Fantastic Four puts them up 5-2. And after a Subliners hot start, we see the same thing once again. The side of the Subliners not being able to pull through towards the end of the game where it matters the most. Fantastic Four now on series, or not match series point, but on map point, looking to go up 2-0. I mean, this is bad.
No, yeah, like I was about to say, I can't tell if this is just Fantastic Four playing fantastic, or if this is the side of the New York Subliners just making a lot of mistakes and playing very poor, because it just feels like they're not spotting out these players, and kind of it just feels like they're just not winning the gunfights right now. And at that point, you're doing everything right in terms of setting up and getting into the right positions. But look at this again, Methods, he spots both.
Shots over the top. They know where that player is, but Saints could be able to get behind Methods, and there it is. So 2 go down. Now, Slack, can you equalize out? No, but you can get 1 and play your life away. Prolut, unfortunate timing on the staircase. 4v2 turns to a 2v2, and well, once again, we're back to where Fantastic Four can capitalize on mistakes.
It's all up to Hamza right here. Him and Spart, they got to try to shut this down. They want to stay alive. Hamza sees both players push on towards him, and he's just going to back up. I like that play, but he's going to get pushed, shot in the back. Bomb should go down here. Spart will get the trade out too, though. So it's going to be a 1 versus 1. Slack will get this bomb down.
Slack's just going to go back into the plane. He's going to play in towards the office. That could be a good play, but the stun might be able to find him. No. So Slack is able to go ahead and remain in towards the office. No information for Spart here. If he mantles up on towards that top wing, he will be heard. Is Slack going to get spotted? Will Spark be able to see him? Not just yet. And the Slack still continue to play towards the back. He's going to be able to hear that audio cue of the hop up. Slack around the corner. Can Spark win the gunfight? Yes, he can. 1v2 clutches up. Keeps the Academy of Subliners alive here for at least the time being. 3 more rounds to seal it for them. Only 1 for Fantastic Four. But Cruz, silver linings always come through.
Oh, man.
That round specifically shows the grit, at least composure, not to lose a 4v2 at least completely.
Absolutely, but I mean, I feel like that should be like just one of those rounds where it's like they're making it so much harder on themselves, Corin. It's like they just need to play together at that point, trade out effectively, and they win that round very easily. Instead, they go from a 4 versus 2 to a 1 versus 2 for themselves. They are able to close it out, but I mean, damn, that got a lot closer than they would have liked it to.
Spart, Saints, making the push over toward Day. We saw a similar push from Fantastic Four a couple rounds ago where it was Slacked and Decimate who were able to make that double play to catch a couple players off guard. Will it work the same way? Slacked playing a far angle, firing towards the back, looking for those players that potentially might try to push on through. But as Hamza now pushes up, Prolut's going to be below the plane, looking to maybe get 1 or 2 players caught off guard. But his Methods just plays this angle in the back, not willing to give up anything, just looking for positioning. And well, he should be able to spot out Hamza. Shots come through, down to 5 HP, somehow stays alive. Spart on the 3 spree, 11 and 6. He's been the torch. And well, it could be the tomb that the rest of the team are building for him.
And I mean, you got to think if he can try to work his way around to finding streaks here, it could be huge for their team. The issue right now with the offense from the New York Subliners is they're taking way too long to be decisive with getting this bomb down somewhere. We saw it in the very last round that they were on offense. They took forever to try to get this bomb down, and then you saw Fantastic Four take complete advantage of it. It's happening again here. They have another man advantage. It's really going to be up to Saints and Spart again. They need to find these kills in the back.
Oh my.
Methods is going to be able to find another one. It's just all Saints.
Saints finds the shots. So that time, Methodist isn't able to win that crit gunfight up close, but you've got to get the bomb down. Slack, you can play this together with your teammate.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, though. They'll win the gunfight up close and personal out front. Fantastic Four. They'll do it. They'll take a 2-0 lead over the undefeated Subliners Academy. And we'll be going to a game 3 with now a reverse sweep potentially on the loom. And, well, it's going to have to be, it's going to have to come to fruition if you even want a chance in this series.
I mean, if they want to,
it's bad.
Yeah, I agree. That is
You know?
exactly how I feel right now. If they want to get a reverse sweep, they're going to need to start playing a little bit better fundamentally. It's just everything just seems a little bit off with them right now. Just pacing, just you don't see them usually making mistakes like the way that they were in that search and destroy. And it's like you're in a 4 versus 2 situation, you almost lose the round. It's like those are situations where you just can't allow that stuff to happen, especially at this level of challengers, right? Like, because if you do, Fantastic Four, these are all former pros. They're going to take advantage of those mistakes.
Absolutely. And I mean, if we go back and look at what Subliners Academy has been able to do, both times they play Control is on Checkmate. This time, we're not on Checkmate. We're going to Garrison. So a map that maybe these two teams are relatively unfamiliar with, since we typically would see Checkmate and Raid be the forefront of the picks for a lot of these teams, but a team that's really good on Raid for Control. Well, you guessed it. Fantastic Four, New York Subliners Academy. Checkmate's their strong suit for Control. So it's a wild card toss-up between these two teams for map number 3. And again, it's all going to be a battle of wits. It's going to be a battle of attrition to see who can go ahead and find this one. Because if you're the side of the Subliners, you're down 0-2. You haven't faced adversity like this beforehand. All you've been in the Control this far is either up 2-0 in a series or it's been tied 1-1. Now, you have a chance to show everybody that you can keep your composure, adjust to your opponents, and be able to come back, reverse sweep, and take a map number 5 on, well, you guessed it, a potential Express, where the side of Fantastic Four are 0-2 and have lost 4-6 and 1-6 on that very same Express S&D.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to start with this Control. And like you said, going into this is that NYSL, they have not played Garrison, and neither has the side of Fantastic Four. So it's really going to come down to who just knows how to play Garrison better at this point. I mean, it's been in the map rotation forever. All these players have played it a ton. Yeah. I think that this map is really going to come down to, once again, who's just going to make the least amount of mistakes out of these two teams. And right now, the way it's really looking is looking like it's NYSL, and they got to turn it. They got to flip a switch here, and it'll be the way that they can come back in this series.
Jesse, I got to ask the question, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
When we look at a map like Garrison, when we look at a map specifically playing with Control on Garrison, really, realistically speaking, who do you think it favors? Because if you look at Fantastic Four, sure, their first 2 maps have been great. They've played with a lot of chemistry, something that we haven't really seen all that much, specifically in respawns throughout the entirety of the year. Their S&D looked great. It was compressed. It was every movement that they made on the map, everything was calculated to a T. So with that being said, is the same thing going to be said for Control? Or will this out of the Subliners once again be able to regroup, find that form that they saw back all the way in stage 1 of the Challengers Elite, and be able to be back in championship form for a map number 3 in Control?
I do got to be honest here. I actually think that this map mode combo probably favors the side of NYSL, if we're being totally honest here. It's just those, again, we're going to have those long range AR gunfights. And yes, I know we saw that just now back in that Checkmate Search and Destroy, but when it comes down to Control, it's completely different. This team is a very well-rounded team, especially when it comes to respawns. They're undefeated in Control, like we said, going into this. Yeah. If you're looking at the side of Fantastic Four, they are only 2-1 in the mode, so definitely not their best. Neither team has played this. So I mean, I got to give the edge to NYSL here, and it's going to start with this if they want to make the reverse sweep.
I'd have to agree with you as well. I mean, we kind of touched on it beforehand, right? You know, one of the keys to success was in those raid, or rather not raid, but in those games where you had long range maps. Specifically, it was Spartan Hamza who were going to carry the torch for the side of NYSL. So far, they were able to do that pretty much for the most part inside of map number 1, but if there's one player that needs to kind of turn the series around who has had a relatively lackluster start, it's been Prelude. Obviously, he got those streaks in map number 1, was able to turn around from the very, very poor start that he had there. But in the S&D, the struggles kept continuing to seep through into the gameplay, and that eventually lost him multiple rounds in a row because he was getting blooded in certain aspects. And unfortunately, when you're putting a player like that in towards the top of the plane, it's hard to go ahead and get that momentum for yourself, find your psyche back into your hands and be able to push back through the map. But when we go into a map like Control, a map where NYSL is going to be familiar with and at least have that chemistry back together once again in a respawn, that's where you've been able to kind of at least mend the gaps that you've shown beforehand, specifically with a 5-6 loss on Miami to the side of Built by Gamers. And that's where you can go, or sorry, excuse me, UT Crew. And that's where you can go ahead, put yourself forward, put your foot down in the series, start that reverse sweep, and then go into a Garrison hardpoint where technically you would have the favor, or at least favorable advantage.
Yeah, that's literally what I was about to say. They know right after this, they have got Garrison Hardpoint, and we know how good NYSL Academy is at Garrison Hardpoint. We've seen it a few times for themselves. So at least in past stages. So you know that this team is going to be very good at Garrison. It's just
Yeah.
so if they're able to win this, it's going to put so much momentum into their favor to be able to carry this into a Garrison. And then, like you said, you win that Garrison Hardpoint next. What did we say that the record was for Fantastic Four on an Express Search and Destroy?
Not just Express Search and Destroy, but in Game 5s overall 0-2.
Yeah, so just they don't got the ice, so Fantastic Four, or so NYSL, you got to come out, just take the swing map, and then you're right back in the series. I think, man.
I honestly have to agree with you. And one of the points I wanted to make at the beginning of the broadcast that just didn't find its way in was the inconsistent respawn was going to be the downfall for Fantastic Four. And I know we've hit on respawn a lot, but again, this is where they have struggled. Every series that they have played, it's been those respawns and the inconsistencies and such that have really brought them down a level. We talked about it beforehand, before the stream, Jesse, where, we were kind of watching their scrims and stuff like that, and they weren't really playing great in terms of respawn, specifically hardpoint, in the way that we might have liked them to see, at least coming into the Elite Stage 3. But with that being said, you take a Moscow map number 1, you get checkmate out of the rotation early on, where the side of NYSL, in terms of map and modes, we're 4-0 across all checkmate game modes throughout the entirety of Stage 3 thus far. So with that being out of the equation, besides they're on the checkmate, you beat them in their best map in the S&D. Now you go into the Garrison with a 2-0 advantage. What's stopping this out of Fantastic Four from winning this game other than just a complete breakdown?
I don't think there's much, honestly. I think like what you said, I think it is just a complete breakdown. As good as NYSL is on this Garrison map and mode, I mean, like we've been saying and building up going into this series, this is a team of 4 complete pro players who have all played at the highest level at one time in their life. So it's really all just going to come down to whether or not they're going to be able to clutch up like they were before.
We'll go ahead and take a live look into TMNT and LAG Academy. You saw beforehand, LAG were up 2-0 inside of the control. They were able to take that third round. So now we go into map number 4, Apocalypse. And if you were watching yesterday, folks, LAG Academy, not only have you known about how good they are inside of Apocalypse, but more importantly, they are still undefeated on this map and mode. It got hairy toward the end of the game, and while it's getting a little bit scary right now, as Lamagod's able to find a kill, he's on 2 in a row. Now make that 3, looking over towards the back, trying to find potentially 4, and oh, there it is. Escapes with his life, can push on back. It is going to be the player in Exceed, though, who drops down 2 there for LAG. They don't have the spawns, but they can create a pinch play over towards point 4.
Unfortunately for him, he runs out of ammo in both of his guns. He was just doing so much there that he just couldn't keep on holding on to it to be able to find those last couple kills. So no streaks for him, but like you said, this doesn't look like the worst. I would love to know who started off on the good side spawns, because I mean, usually you can get a pretty big swing off the side of this map. It's very similar to like Hackney Yard from last year. So
sure,
still though, very good start though from LAG. Basically a tie game on both these sides, and if you're looking at this right now, TMNT, it probably looks like they're going to do a pretty good hold on this hill.
LAG, you've got 2 options here. Do you go for the back spawns, or do you try and push this through chicken coop? You're not going to push it from temple sides, because that's basically a death wish with the amount of head glitches that the side of TMNT are going to be able to have. However, here they come. Exceed, going to be able to find some shots there, but Mochilla will eventually walk away with a kill. Nero around the side won't be able to find much either. So, although they go ahead and do break in towards the spawns, it's going to be 4 down for LAG. TMNT come back flying through, and that's honestly one of the best breaks and holds that I've seen in a long time, specifically for the side of TMNT, where you've seen LAG Academy be able to swarm the hill. Now it's all about, once again, trying to break over towards those P5 spawns. You got them beforehand, you lost them immediately, though.
Yeah, they just absolutely lost them. And now it's going to be up to LAG. They need to respond with a really good hold here of their own. That last hold on TMNT, that they just basically turned a not money hill into a complete full 60 hold. So LAG, they absolutely are going to need to rebound on this hill in themselves to be able to get in. That's a great start with Mox being able to find 2 through the middle of the map there. Should probably be able to find another one here. Yeah, it is actually going to end up falling, but still, man, this is looking a little bit rough after allowing them that many points on Turtle.
Will you find a full 60? Will after 3 go down? The answer is absolutely not. So as Mental's the last one alive, playing up towards the top of P5. Here comes the player now pushing in. Lamagod's going to best him in that gunfight. And now if you're LAG, you're forced to come in from the weak side. You've got players set up in towards the bottom. You've got a player looking in towards the back for spawns. And as Mochilla finds 2, 3 players streaking from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And that is going to allow the side of LAG to remain dormant. TMNT go ahead and retake not only the lead of the game, but firm control of the map. They've got everybody all the way back over towards scraps. You're going to be walking away with about a 70-80 point lead after this hard point is over. And I don't think I need to state how big that is on a map like Apocalypse. However, you can string them together to make this comeback for the side of LAG.
I was literally just about to say that. They are still in a great position, though, with the side of the map that they have, because they can still hold on to this for, what, 30 seconds, whether it gets contested or not, as they continue just to try to win gunfights through the middle of the map. And then they got to put all their focus on just holding down that temple spawn and being able to grab that for the next time through. Mox doesn't want to push too far forward. He's getting a little bit aggressive there, and that's kind of starting to worry me here, because if they do end up falling, okay, they do keep the spawn in the back, but they were pushing a lot forward there. That really could have turned bad for them.
All came down to TMNT not being pushed too far up the map to go ahead and influence those spawns. But the side of TMNT is able to get these 30 seconds because of LAG not being able to hold, or rather, not wanting to push back towards that hill, so they get those temple spawns and eventually don't even find themselves inside of them. It's going to be an even bigger loss, an even greater loss. But as I say that, 4 go down, 15 seconds of scrap to the side of LAG. Nero needs to be careful here with how far he pushes up the map, but can go ahead and find a couple of these kills, namely onto Parasite, looking for the second one over towards Glory. Can't get it done. P2 on the loom, about to pop, just about 2 seconds.
And they will all still spawn up there with them at Temple. So, I mean, this is going to be a really tough break for TMNT to do. But, I mean, we've seen it happen before. It really just takes all 4 players pushing in through that Temple, finding the kills in the back, forcing the spawn out, and then just winning these gunfights in the front. That's all it's going to come up to here. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade off the rip, but TMNT, they still got a chance to do it here.
They're going to get parallels, though. That's the biggest thing. You got to get these kills in the back of this side of LAG. You've got 1. Glory, though, and Parasite will work in tandem to find 2. Mental around the corner will be helping there with Nero, but Parasite, once again, able to play his life. They came through the front. They had a pinch play, and although they'd spawn on the offside, they're able to go ahead and break in towards the point. So a hill that is relatively unbreakable and that you would call one of the hardest to break, if not the hardest hill to break inside of Cold War. They go ahead, get in towards the time, and what could have been a full 60 for LAG turns sour, while TMNT will cross the 200-point mark and potentially send this to a game number 5.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what they needed to do for TMNT. This is, and like you said, yesterday you said that LAG has played this map. They've looked so good at it. The last time through, we seen them. They got almost a full 60 on this hill as well for themselves. If you're the LAG, so it's exactly what they need to try to come back into this. But TMNT, they've strung P2 and P3 together so perfectly here. They can now just focus on getting these hill. They're only what 35 seconds away from being able to close this game out. And LAG, they can't even get close to the hill right now. Finally, 3 are going to go down. But just a great break from LAG there. Damn.
Good break, but team kills were costly there. They're not going to have as many players there as they'd like. And you look at player number 1, Mochilla. Spawns out across the map. Could set up a pinch play here. However, wiser than none, Mental's able to turn around and be able to take down that player. So 20 seconds of time left on this hill. It'll put them at 168 if they're able to hold all of it down. However, TMNT, so aggressive on the map. They break back in for the scrap time. Don't even want to give LAG an opportunity to find daylight here on Apocalypse. Although it's the brightest map, it's a gloomy future for LAG. The hoods are up because right now they're not able to find much.
No, and this is a hill that we saw TMNT be able to get a full 60 on last time through, only needing 20 seconds left to be able to close this game off for themselves here. It's going to have to be a perfect hard point from this point on from LAG, and they need to break on into this hill, but the trades are just not there in their favor. Only 1 player left that's close enough to touch. It's Mox. He falls as well, and this looks like it's going to be a TMNT win.
Parasite looking towards the front. They're just trying to scramble back towards the hill. You've either got to fly through Chicken Coop to get a cheeky little bit of contest time, or fly all the way from Temple. 3 more points. Nero is there. Nero is there. Nero is there to find all 4. And as LAG break in, although it's a 2-second buffer, Nero has started to heat up, and that's a scary sight, even if you get into the S&D.
Oh my God, just as I called the win, Nero goes in and he pops and gets all 4. They still got a lot of work to do, though, as they have to push all the way through these spawns, find all the kills in the back here, and they have to shut down Mochil, but it's Nero again in the front. He's able to get another one, gets the second onto Parasite as well. If they can flip these spawns out and LAG comes back and wins this game, I'm going to shave my head.
You talk perfect. You've got to play perfect. And behind Nero finding basically 6 in a row there despite falling, you're looking towards those back spawns, but you haven't been able to find them. Now it's all down to Nero once again. 1 versus 4 at the point. Can you do it once again? You snap onto the second, but TMNT, they get back in towards the point, and that will be it. Check and mate on map number 4. That's going to put us into a map number 5, which we are going to be going to none other than Raid the Home Sweet Home for the side of TMNT.
Corn,
nice and good. In the
had,
search
had
and
me a
destroy.
little
That
bit
was
scared
fun.
there.
That was fun, Jesse.
Had me a little bit scared there. I thought I was gonna have to shave my head. Can't believe I made that call in the middle of that series, but damn, man, it was very, very, very tough. I can't believe that just happened. I'm like, yeah, this one's over. And then Nero's like, no, shut up, Jesse. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna pop a hot 4-piece through this.
Oh my god,
that was insane.
Well, as we get action settling down in one map, gearing up for a game number 5, we'll rear your attention back over towards our main matchup between Fantastic Four, who are up 2-0 in the series over the side of New York Subliners Academy. And as we push over towards the A site on screen with ProLoot looking for a couple players now making that push, it is going to be at least a middle map to B push as it stands and looks for the side of Fantastic Four.
A pretty good start right off the bat too. The break off for Fantastic Four is just not there for the time being, and like a good break off on offense on Garrison is what it really comes down to, being able to win these rounds. And so far, just not very good. You've got Saints pushed all the way up into your spawn, a place where you never want Saints to be, because he can just sit in any little corner, do all the small things right to your team. But I mean, not the worst thing now. They are able to finally get control of their spawn, and they're able to push out one tick into B already.
Here comes fire. Aggressive, but not too aggressive up middle map, looking for a couple players from the NYSL Academy, starting to push up, and ProLoot will get some unfortunate timing because he gets killed from behind by Slack. So that's 2 ticks already over towards B. They should be able to get the full thing, and now for the side of Subliners, they're just going to chalk that up. Force Fantastic Four to come back over towards that A site, try to get a little bit of time on the points specifically as well. But with 2 minutes left in the game, up 2 lives on the defense, or rather the offensive side. I was right. The offensive side. You're looking good and trying to rear yourself ahead for a potential win here, but as ProLoot finds one, push is going to be prohibited for a time being.
And I mean, this push into B or into A is going to be like really, really tough with the positioning that NYSL are in right now. You have a player still in the back of lights watching it. Usually you have a lot more focus in towards the hill watching up top green. This time through for NYSL, they're ready for this push in through Cobble, and they are shutting it down completely. That's 3 down in a row, and it's only going to be Slack who's close enough, and he's top green, and actually he's going to be able to hop on, stop the time, but they can just rotate over so fast through arches. It makes defense so much easier.
That was an ego challenge if I've ever seen one there from Slack. Jumps from the top ropes, tries to find Hamza, but more importantly, Hamza will stay alive on a 3 spree. So as ProLoot's up in towards top green, will escape with his life. Now Hamza can just play back a little bit further. They know where these players are pushing from due to the spawns from Fantastic Four. They've got players trying to push in through top green, but look for the pinch here through middle map as well. Starting to set it up. As we see ProLoot maybe find that first killer, at least that first engagement up towards the top. Fantastic Four looking ready for the push.
Yeah, and it's like the push, they're trying to make their way in through the back of the spawn still, and it's just they're just not finding the kills. It's just simple as that. Saints is able to just keep pushing out from behind, and as soon as they all turn around and try to shut down Saints, you got Hamza pushing in through the back. It's just making it so much easier. They finally do find a couple kills here as they try to push on in, but it's just not easy, man. This hill is so tough to break on, and NYSL, they are just playing it perfectly right now.
Folks, if you're just joining us here, New York Subliners Academy, down 0-2 in the series. I know, shocking to most. We didn't think it would be at least an 0-2. It could have been a 1-1 very easily, but Fantastic Four have been playing out of their minds this series. But Smart looking to go ahead and rewrite that a bit. And although it's been a little bit of a slow start once again here from ProLoot, it's nothing like we saw in the first hardpoint or the S&D. Has been able to help his team out a lot. And even though they put 2 minutes early on the clock there with the capture over towards B, couldn't take on A. NYSL Academy, they'll win your first offense or defensive round.
Yeah, I mean, like we said going into that round, it was just honestly a perfect round from NYSL. They had a great break off. Yes, they do allow Fantastic Four to get the full tick on to B, but I mean, you allow that and you just get a full setup over towards A, and they hold it perfectly for what, a minute and a half there. Just a fantastic round from the side of the Subliners Academy. And now they got to try to do it here on offense. I think if they want to try to get this reverse sweep on it, it has to start off, like we said, with the Garrison, obviously. But if they can get a very dominant, like 3-0 win here, you know what that could do for their momentum going in towards a hard point?
See the S&D starting on your right side. 1-1 TMNT tied up with LAG Academy. And that also reminds me, folks, if you also want to watch more Challengers action, youtube.com/COD Challengers. You can go there, not only find great action, but most importantly, the live stream there with beautiful, beautiful broadcasters such as Cruz and I myself. But They're going to be carrying you through Triumph and Built by Gamers. Triumph looking to go ahead and force a map at number 5 there. Built by Gamers 1 and 3, Triumph 1 and 2, both looking for a rewrite to the entirety of Stage 3. But as the round robins draw to a close, you've got to be putting so much pressure on yourselves and on your teams every single game. It's really make that push for the playoffs.
And I mean, this was a great break off from NYSL. They were able to find all the kills over towards the middle of the map, push all the way through, get on to B, and this is exactly what we see. What I said they needed to do. They need to come out. They need to win this map very, very aggressively, so that they can come out and just get that momentum going in towards that next game. And you can already see it. They're pushing so far into the spawn of Fantastic Four. They're taking every gunfight. They're so confident right now. There's only one player right now for Fantastic Four that's on the hill, and that's Decimate. And once he gets shut down, they can hop on this and get a stack.
Almost is able to turn there on the Hamza, but you've got 3 players stacking the point over towards A, and more reinforcements starting to come through. Saints finds the kill there. Around the corner, could be able to find one as he finds that kill. Pinstripe kill feed will allow for the side of Sunliners to get at least 1 tick over towards A at another 20 seconds to the clock, and that bodes well if this goes to around number 5. Remember, folks, it's not kills anymore instead of control. It's how much progress you get on each of the respective sites on your offensive round. If it does go to around number 5, and as Saints finds 2, Hamza stays alive. They've got 2 ticks over towards A, looking for that final third to close out the second round.
And it's very close. Spartan will swing wide to try to do it, and they just stack the hill. They're able to hop on, and because of the new update with that being able to cap the hill from green, you're seeing so many more offensive wins through that. And they were able to do what the side of Fantastic Four wasn't able to do in that first round, and that was push through the back, find all the kills, and then pinch on the last players that were inside the site on that satellite, and they just did it so well there.
Oh, the big thing is you have cover now. You're not immediately running out to players who are pre-aiming you all the way from square and in through Cobble. You're not having to challenge, 3 players that are not only sitting all the way back on the ramp and in towards where I was just talking about in square, but also on the satellite. We know how hard green is to break out of just when 1 player is sitting up there, but when you have 3 players that are able to set up on the defensive side and you're able to focus maybe just 1 player over towards middle map and then have players able to rotate, it's so much easier to go ahead and get those offensive round wins. Subliners, remember, they have to win this to stay alive and force that reverse sweep storyline to come to fruition. Thus far, they've been able to go up 2-0. Can Fantastic Four go ahead and retaliate?
I think we got to be looking at methods right now if we want Fantastic Four to be able to come back in this series or in this map and mode combo in particular, because he is off to a very rough start here at 6-5. Definitely not having a great game for himself here. I mean, nobody really on the side of Fantastic Four, but to only have 6 kills, make it 7 now through what the first 2 rounds there, it's definitely not where you want to be, and you are already pinned back in your spawn. If you're Fantastic Four, you need to try to get out of this as quickly as possible, find all these kills middle of the map, and they're finally able to get 1 out of their spawn here as they try to push on forward. Slacks will find another one, so there we go. That's the break that they need to get out of their spawn. They should be able to hop onto the B point, and I mean, if I'm the New York Subliners at this point, I'm just giving up the B point. I'm just going to rotate over. You know how well you held A last time. Just get that full setup and do it 1 more time over.
Well, you also realize that you did gain a full minute for the side of Fantastic Four the last time. You held it down for 2 minutes when you were down by 2 lives to go ahead and start after they captured B. First tick over towards B is going to come through, and I'll be interested to see if Prelude makes his way back over towards B and tries to cut that off. But, well, Saints is just going to cut down everybody over towards A and make that push back over towards B even easier. 2 ticks, though. Going to add another 20 seconds here, or at least it should have. And Slack shooting over the top. Once again, it is going to be 18-18 in the life count. Looking to add 1 more minute onto the clock here for the side of Fantastic Four. As we start to push back up towards the map, you look at the side of the Subliners. Once again, chalking up B, sitting over towards A, looking to hold it down for another minute 45.
Yeah, so I believe with the most recent patch coming in, they're not adding 20 seconds per tick. It's still for just the whole zone, but the final defense will still be decided by zone captures. I believe that's what they changed it to.
Yes.
Don't hold me to that completely. So, but still, nonetheless, New York Subliners, they have to hold on to this for another minute 25 here, and if they do, they're going to be able to force us back all the way into a game number 4, which will be heading towards another Garrison hardpoint. And if, I mean, they're able to play that Garrison hardpoint anyway, like they're able to play this, and how they're playing it right now, they could be in a very good shape to be sending us possibly to a game 5 here.
Fantastic Four, 1-2 here through the round robins. Looking to go at 500 at 2-2 in record throughout the entirety of Stage 3. Hamza, shots over the top, going to be able to trade out his teammate in Saints as fire falls. Method's going to start to push up in the same area, in the same way that his teammate did through lights. And as Hamza finds 1, 2, and 3, that's going to be 4 in a row for Hamza, Jesse.
It's literally the same thing as the first defense. They just can't get past the brick wall that is the New York Subliners right now. are having such a hard time pushing in through the back. And it's like, at one point, are you just going to say, hey, screw it, let's all get together and try to make a push in through the front? But they haven't. They're all just individually challenging these gunfights one after another. And this is just not the way to play Control. Remember when you asked me how we're going to see Fantastic Four lose this, and you asked if we were going to experience a breakdown? I think we're experiencing an offensive breakdown right now.
Defensive hold comes through strong. Another stick there going to come through. Somehow finds the kill early on. Another 3 go down. 3 lives remaining. There's Pro Loot. Somehow loses that kill, but okay. Well, you still got time to work with here. Although there is a player pushing through middle map in Saints. It's a 3 versus 10. Not only do you have to get onto A where the contest is already there, you got to get through Hamza's AR of fire. Diamante around the corner, 1 versus 10, can fire, do it absolutely not. 3-0 completed in the Control. Subliners still down 2-1 in the overall series, but most importantly here, Cruz, they force a map number 4 and an opportunity to give a map number 5 to the Subliners. It's still possible.
Yeah, no, it's definitely still possible for the side of the Subliners, and like we said, we needed them to come out and we needed to win that dominantly, and I mean, dominantly they did.
Here we go. LAG 5-2 in the search and destroy. TMNT, they came back triumphantly and beat LAG on their statistical best hardpoint map that they had not dropped here in Stage 3. Not just through the entirety of the round robins, but also through the qualifiers too. So, as we go ahead and take a look here for the side of TMNT, it's really just an all-around struggle except for Llama. These players have the opportunity to go ahead and find the adjustments, but as I said beforehand, folks, if you were here before the break where Nero was able to find 4 in a row, wipe the entire team, he was fired up and he was going to be a problem in the S&D. Well, a problem he has been. 5 in a row here through the last few rounds. Looking to go ahead and win the game is the side of LAG with one final defensive hold. Over towards A they go. Mental pushed up the map. LAG looking for first blood.
And I mean, we've seen LAG in that first search and destroy we saw them play, and they just absolutely ran through TMNT. It was a 6-0, correct me if I'm wrong, and they are looking very, very good here one more time against the side of TMNT. Although in this round, TMNT, they're able to find a few. It's all going to be on just Mox here, but still, I mean, for them to be able to win 4 rounds in a row against a team who has, what, won 11-2 against you so far today, it's going to be a little tough.
Not only is it going to be tough, but the good news for the side of TMNT is you do take down Nero inside of this round, so you don't give him an opportunity to get those streaks any further, so at least that bids an opportunity for you a little bit better, but as Mox now pushes down the staircase in a 1 versus 3, there's 30 seconds left to get not only the defuse, but the kills as well.
Yeah, this is, well, it's one of those 1v3 situations where it's practically impossible to win the round. And yeah, he's got players on all 3 edges of him, tries to push towards the bomb, gives his position away, and it's an easy cleanup there. So they do end up picking up that round. And I mean, if they want to win this, it's going to have to rattle off 4 in a row here. And I mean, we know how tough that can be.
Here we go. Another round, TMNT. This time, they're going to be on the defensive side. This is where you have the opportunity to get aggressive, but if you want to play a bit more passive, you have the opportunity to do so as well. Llama God's going to get a stun over the top, trying to check over towards the ramp. It's going to be Glory who gets the first blood. So a 4 versus 3 for the side of TMNT. Nero doesn't want to challenge around that corner just yet, but look at Moch. All the way up through middle into zigzag. Mox does not want to peek that angle because he knows that someone might be pestering around in middle map. And as Nero looks for a potential over peek over towards basketball courts, he'll get the shots and not finish up the kill. So still a 4 versus 3 as we stand.
They got to try to push up and get this bomb down at A. I think that's their best chance of being able to win this round, because if you can get it down there, you can try to hold on to a back basketball hold to try to really hold on to the rest of this hill. But I mean, this 1v1 between Mochilla and Mox here is going to really be everything. And Mox expects him in the corner, jumps out, challenges, wins the gunfight, and now the rotation battle's on.
Well, he didn't want to peek before, but that time he was confident. He had a teammate there with him. Allows it to be a 3 versus 3. And look at this out of TMNT. You know that they're going to have to wrap all the way back. You see the X-ways through the walls, and here comes Llama God. Now going to be able to see the rotation back over, but are they going to be able to get there in time? Nero's going to plan on the worst side possible. However, can Mox be the line of defense that they need to stop the first? Yes, he will be. Parasite comes out, can't find the kill. Last one alive, it's going to be Glory. Is able to find one, looks for number 2 over towards the blue van. Nero will stay alive for the time being in a deathly 1 versus 2 that keeps them inside of this series and potentially could keep their entire Stage 3 season alive. Can he go ahead and find the kills up towards the top? Not gonna be able to find them. Jesse, here they come.
They're just gonna keep throwing shoulders.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
Shots over towards the top. That's gonna do it.
So hard.
LAG 6-3. S&D win. They win round number 9, but more importantly, they win the best of 5 series, and they will go ahead and be sitting pretty with, I believe, a 2-0 record here in Elite Stage 3. And that is what you love to see here on the North American side. If you are an LAG Academy fan, remember, Mox did come in for Chino there, as Chino was upgraded to the main roster, and well, he had an incredible performance there to start out his CDL debut for the 2021 season.
Did he ever? We're already hopping back over towards this live look-in, though. Or sorry, not a live look-in. Back to our main game here between Fantastic Four and the New York Subliners Academy. Fantastic Four started off the series with a hot little 2-0 start, but New York Subliners, man, did they ever come back there in that last control? Took a hot 3-0. They're holding a lot of momentum coming in towards this, and already off to a nice little 20-point lead here. And I mean, just a great job, too, of being able to zone out Fantastic Four towards the back. They're able to string the two hills together, and I mean, they got a possibility to be able to go up 60 points here.
Here comes Fire, looking towards the back. They've got the P3 rotations held. They've got on for 30 seconds thus far. Can they go ahead and potentially hold a full 60? Fire in towards Spartan Saints combined for a couple. But more importantly, you got to look to Spart here as he's on 4 in a row. Now make it 5. The Krig is able to find the kills. He knows that Decimate is going to be pushing here through tools in just a second. And as Prolude's able to find Decimate, Spart back in middle map. Can't find that last player. So as he falls, the opportunity for streaks out the window as well. But they've got about... They got a 70-point lead here, Jesse.
Yeah, it's not looking great right now for Fantastic Four. I think we're starting to see the hardpoint dominance from New York Subliners that we are quite used to seeing, that we didn't get to see in that first game there. But they will be able to find 3 on their exits out here. So definitely able to get out of this dark hallway area. And I mean, now they flip the spawns to the side that they want. You want to be holding this from top green, and they might actually be able to even rattle off some more time here.
Most important thing, they get 2 down, looking for a couple more. They know that the push is going to be coming through caution most likely here in just a few seconds, and as Hamza comes around the corner, is able to find 1, gets the shots onto 2, stays alive on 4, can lay down and let his teammates go to work over the top. And as Saints looks for the player up towards caution, they've got information on where that player might be coming from. Hamza can play his life over here around the corner, over towards the back spawns with the Krig to find those long-range shots. And as he'll find number 5 in his lines of sight, the prey just keeps on coming through, the Predator reigning supreme. The New York Subliners have a great lead here in map number 4, but more importantly, are boding extremely well for game number 5.
They're literally just stringing every single hill together, finding every kills in succession that they absolutely need to right now. And there we go, another 3 go down. They're not pushed far enough forward, though, to flip the spawns out. So Fantastic Four are in a good spot to try to be able to hold this. But, I mean, NYSL, they still might even be able to hold this from the front right now.
Hey, Jesse, one quick statistic. 11-9 here for Prolude. A great start thus far. And when we say great, we mean that comparatively to the other couple of maps that we've seen the starts from Prolude be. But as they now push back on over towards the hill, it was a great break from the Fantastic Four into the front of P5, but as 3 go down, they're going to have to be back on the respawn block again. NYSL, they can just play these angles, they can play these corners, but more importantly, find these couple of kills. Saints don't do it to him, he doesn't. They get the hill time, 20 seconds left. Fantastic Four, at least they have P1 somewhat in their grasps right now, but I don't want to speak too soon because we've seen what NYSL does on breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go. Fire's going to drop there. This is how it all starts off to be able to break out. You need to get back, hold the top green. You can see player number 7. He's going to be making a flank push all the way around because he knows it too. He knows how important it is. Decimate will be able to find those kills. So as P1 pops, Fantastic Four will be the first team in there until they do end up falling off the rat. So finally, they do hop on in around 5 seconds later than I thought they were going to, but they just need to keep the NYSL team spawning on this side for the next majority of the 30 seconds, but until they can push all the way through and try to flip this out to get the spawns for P2.
Here comes Hamza. Around the corner. Spart's there, though. The 2 ARs, they duo in tandem for a couple of kills. Can he go ahead and find the kills once again? Saints trying to find the kill on Decimate, but he stays alive for the time being and now can push back up the map with the rest of the team. I said it was a great start for NYSL. However, Fantastic Four, despite a very brief contest that comes through, they hold on for basically a full 60 on point number 1. The contest might come through here at the last couple of seconds, and the scrap time might belong to the side of the Subliners. But realistically speaking, it doesn't really matter if you get the scrap time here. You got to be focusing your rotation all the way over towards point number 2 on the satellite, and that's where Fantastic Four are set up for the time being. They've got an AR on the point, they've got an AR in the back looking for middle map pushes, and they can go ahead and not only potentially tie the game up, but take the lead if they hold the full 60.
Yeah, they did exactly what I said they needed to do. They held that for majority time. They're able to flip the spawns out right towards the end of it, and now they just need to do what they They need to do what NYSL was able to do through the last time. They need to string these hills together. It's exactly what they're doing so far. Slack is able to find 2. He does end up falling, though, to Saints. So the break is going to be trying to come on in. Only 1 player left now for Fantastic Four inside the hill. It's Fire. He's going to have to go huge against these 2 players, but they're hunting him down. They find him, and I mean, just as good as that was, NYSL, they break right back in.
Saints 4 in a row. 3 more. Get some streaks over the top. Here comes Spart with the shots. Looking for even more. Their Saints make it number 5. Looking for number 6, either towards the ramp or in towards square. Somehow Fire finds the kill from Cobble. And as they have 4 go down, now it's the rotations over towards P3 that could be one here from Decimate.
Both teams are spawning so far out from this hill right now. It's really all going to be up to just one player in the back in Saints. And I think he just kind of needs to hide right now, but he's going to take the aggression, take the first gunfight. And that's not really going to help you. He's going to fall there. Spawns will be in favor of Fantastic Four as well. So now New York Subliners, they need to try to break this in from the front. And now Fantastic Four, they're in prime position to try to be able to tie this game up one more time here.
And that's just great. 4 down, you get right at the end of P2. You're able to rotate on over towards P3, and you get those parallels, but New York Subliners spawn the furthest across the map, fortunately enough, due to your positioning with Decimate all the way towards the back, and he wins that huge one-on-one gunfight. However, Spartan Saints combined for 2. Now they're going to try to push around to the back to get the spawns here, but look who spawns in. Fantastic Four are still there. With Decimate pushing up the map, another 3 going down. All you've got to focus your attention on right now is Spart in the back. Be able to hold down this scrap time. Not only do you now take the lead here inside of game number 4, the Subliners have actively lost all composure in terms of their lead, but more importantly, everything on the map seems to be going in the way of the Fantastic Four.
Just absolutely unreal that they've been able to come back in this game the way they were. NYSL was up, what, 90 seconds at one point over Fantastic Four. Now we're starting to see a 15-second lead going back towards the side of Fantastic Four here. At least if you're NYSL, you've got Hamza inside the hill, absolutely beaming. Does finally end up falling. And we've seen this the last time through. Fantastic Four held a decent amount of time here from the start of this hill. This was one of the more contested hills, but really what started to string this comeback together for them was the start of this hill. And they're doing it again.
Another 3 down here, Jesse. 35 seconds left. If they hold on to all this time, they'll be well over that 200-point mark. New York Subliners must keep this series alive with a win here in map number 4. And as they find 2 kills, point number 4 is still going on. They're still losing time. And although the set of Fantastic Four are all the way in the back, we've seen what they're able to do on the breaks, namely over towards point number 5. They basically held down a full 45 seconds over towards point number 1. And as we look towards the rotations, you've just got to make sure you don't push too far back and keep Fantastic Four at bay in their spawns. They're going to be able to rotate over towards the next side of the map, but you got to be wary of Dark, and Spart's looking to snip out those players.
And snip him out, he will. He's able to find 1, but trades so quick there. And now NYSL, they have to do exactly what they had to do last time. They got to try to hold this from the backside, and it's just not the favored side. We saw Fantastic Four through the last time we saw them on P5 here. Streaks coming in. I'm not even sure who found streaks there, but
oh no,
nothing's going to come from it, and that's going to be another 4 down. Fantastic Four putting themselves in a prime position to try to pull this game off.
And here comes, just look at methods. He's got positioning over the top. You've got Decimate pushing up in towards the spawn as well. You've got players looking over the top. And although Slacked will fall, Decimate still holding on. Players starting to funnel in through Cobble. You find the first. Can you find more? Here comes Spart. Eventually we'll find the shots. But you've got to keep this lead for the Fantastic Four at bay. You've got to contest the point or at least get them out of the time. But as Fire finds the kill there, last one coming through is going to be player number 3 in Saints. He'll find that kill, but Fantastic Four, be wary New York. They held down all of P1 last time, and Methods will find 2 over towards Green to not give them any sliver of mid-map control.
I think this time through what NYSL have to do better, and it's exactly that. I was going to say they need to make sure they can get out of this very early. They do so far off the rip. Now the issue is they have to try to hold on to these left side spawns. They can't win on this hill. Fantastic Four can still win here on this P1 hill. So they have to make sure they can test this until the side of Fantastic Four can't win. And then they also have to make sure they win the rotation over. But the gunfights are finally starting to go in their way. They're in a prime position to try to come back in this.
You put 4 down, they'll take 4 off the board for you. Here comes Slack, though, with the shots over the top. Somehow comes away, and another 3 go down. Once again, it's all on to Spart. He'll find 2. Now can push back to safety of the staircase. You've got to play for the rotations, though, and you've got a really weird angle for the side of the Fantastic Four. On one hand, you've got Proloot pushed all the way up towards the spawns for the side of NYSL. However, you've got Fantastic Four spawning across the map, creating a pinch play with everybody that's over towards the last. Spart, Saints find 2. They can push back over towards the point. 30 seconds for either team to take map number 4.
And it's only Methods that's close for Fantastic Four. He does end up falling here. So Spart on 5. He's just going so massive. I believe Methods still has that cruise missile, so I would expect to see it getting called in here soon.
Gotta call it in, and here it comes from the top. Gonna be able to find one, can't get the second. Can you slow it down and get the third in towards Kabul? Yes, you can, but Saints goes ahead and finds Decimate. Can you push back onto the point? You've got the opportunities. You've got Saints with the shots over the top, and now you're getting back in towards the point. Slack looking for a couple of kills. Method's able to find one, finds two. There's Decimate for 3. The contest still on the point. Decimate finds the 4th. Here come the Sunlighters trying to triumphantly come back, but if you're the Fantastic Four, you can't win off of this hard point. New York, you gotta rotate over towards the next point. You get the kill down. You're all the way across the map. Where is the side of the Fantastic Four gonna spawn? It's over towards the hangar. It's the trash spawn. 5 seconds left on the last point. 11 seconds for the Subliners to take the game.
Spart was not ready for Methods here in the back. And I mean, these kills, Spart needs to go so big for Subliners, but he falls, and that's going to get Fantastic for the spawns.
13 seconds for Fantastic Four. You're in the point. Subliners, your last ditch attempt to force a game number 5. You're across the map. 5 seconds won't get it done. Fantastic Four take the series 3-1, knock New York down from their undefeated pedestal, and get back to 500 with a 2-2 record in a great series off of them winning both of your hard points where you've struggled the most.
Dude, I feel like I just went through an entire life cycle watching that game there. There were so many highs and lows for both teams. Like, you start down, 90 points if you're the side of Fantastic Four, and then they bring it all the way back. They go up like 60, and then Subliners bring it all the way back. It comes down to, we thought it was going to come down to just P2. Both teams contested for long enough that it comes all the way down to P3, where it was just a fight back and forth the entire time. Wild stuff. Oh my God, man. I can't.
We went through the motions right there, Jesse.
We absolutely
every emotion that we could have felt, we felt. One was heartbreak for Fantastic Four after rotation came through. One was hope, optimism for Subliners to push to a map number 5. And at the very end, once again, it was heartbreak. Subliners, they had got out first, but unfortunately, it all falls down at the end. That was a crazy map number 4. What a way to end off this best of 5 series for the Subliners. You were close, but unfortunately, the S&D in that map number 1 don't go in your way. It's a very close Moscow, to say the least. But unfortunately, once again, they do fall down 3-1 in the series. Fantastic Four. They take a huge map that's going to do a great deal for their confidence, but it shows everybody here inside of Stage 3 that they are a comparable team when it comes to respawn. We'll take one more look at the entire series scope. Moscow Hardpoint 224, 203. Checkmate S&D, a 6-3 win once again for the set of Fantastic Four. Subliners came back on the same map we just saw in map number 4 in a 3-0 sweep. But ultimately, at the very end, an 11-point win for the side of the Fantastic Four takes the series.
You got to think it really comes down to the hard points there. We said they need to win one. They come out, they win both, and they just absolutely smoked them in that at the very end of that. Like they were in no man's land off the rip of that game. NYSL came out with so much momentum, and then Fantastic Four just completely closed it down, strung so many hills together, and were completely able to bring that back into their favor. I mean, like you said, we completely went through the motions of that one, dude.
Oh my God. I mean, Jesse, we throughout the entirety of Stage 3, we have had crazy hardpoint games. And when I say crazy, I mean, like, I can quite literally go through and just read off a couple of these games that we've seen between teams. Namely, for the side of Built by Gamers, they lost 241-250. They also lost another map, or rather, they won a map where they won 250-249. We've had maps that are within 25 points. We've had maps that are within 10 points, 1 point specifically. But most importantly, folks, if you're watching any of the Stage 3 North American Elite Challengers, I urge you to watch every single map in mode, because not only can these players teach you a lot of things, but most importantly, they're always close, because this is a passion pit.
Oh, man.
Challengers this year, you thought it was crazy last year. This year specifically, Challengers is the most passionate group of young aspiring players, pro players alike from beforehand. Every player that's not on a CDL team or under contract, even under contract, they're here in the Challengers looking to make their names to try and get to that next stage. You can't say anything better about it.
No, I mean, absolutely not. This is the best competition that we've probably ever seen in Challengers, and I'm so glad that we can all be here just to watch it. There's so many streams for challengers this year because we didn't really get to see this much last year. And I mean, y'all are getting to see what you guys missed out this year. And I mean, if you guys aren't in here watching these streams, you are definitely missing out. No question about that. You guys better start watching challengers because I mean, CDL competition is good, but this competition, man, they're fighting for their lives here.
Fighting for their lives, fighting for quite literally their careers, potentially some. But most importantly, folks, we've got more matches here on the way tonight for the North American Stage 3 challenge. I mean, we just saw Fantastic Four beat NYSL. They go up against UT Crew, another team that's hungry. Easter and Triumph here as well, but more importantly, on the main stream coming up next, youtube.com/COD Challengers, you can go ahead and find LAG versus BBG in a crazy little matchup that is going to probably go to the distance to map number 5, like pretty much every match does here inside of Challengers. Folks, we're going to kick it to a break. I'm McCormiel. That's Cruz and Spaz on the other side. UT Crew in the Fantastic Four.
The touch of our innocence is fading. No answers for questions we keep evading. Before the sun went on, we can point the blame, but it doesn't matter. It ended before it begun. Now we run. Shadow lingers on. We feel the devil stare, but we move on like we don't care. 'Cause inside this house of glass, we're throwing stones and we just pray for it to last. We're standing as one, but we're divided. Our days pass us by, but they're spent misguided. Must decide on our own if the story should end or go on. We feel the devil stare, but we move on like we don't care. 'Cause inside this house of glass, we're throwing stones and we just pray it lasts. We feel the devil stare, but we move on like we don't care. 'Cause inside this house of glass, we throw stones and we just pray it somewhere deep inside. Find your reasons, unify. Raise your head, face true. It's now or never. We feel the devil stare, but we move on like we don't care. 'Cause inside this house of glass, we're throwing stones and we just pray it lasts. We feel the devil stare, but we move on like we don't care. 'Cause inside this house of glass, we're throwing stones and we just pray for it to last. Inside this house of glass. so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. I get this feeling when I'm running on empty, like I'm on fire and there's nothing left to burn. The chance to blow it all to hell is so tempting. It's now or never, 'cause you never learn. I get up, I get down, kiss the sky, hit the ground. Don't know why, don't know how. I get high, I get low. I got no place to go. Light my fuse, I'll explode. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. I get this feeling when I'm so close to breaking. I can't see straight and my vision blurs. I get up, I get down, kiss the sky, hit the ground. Don't know why, don't know how. I get high, I get low. I got no place to go. Light my fuse, I'll explode. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. I'm dangerous, so dangerous. I'm dangerous, so dangerous. I'm dangerous, so dangerous. I'm dangerous, so dangerous. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. shadow of whoever you're around. Mold to them and sing their songs, just like them and play along. Tear what's left of you out to put away their doubts. Take it out, take it out, take it out and tear it up. Tear it up until it cuts and leaves the smallest piece. Who are you when no one's around? Are you capable of life through yours and no one else's eyes? Scratch the words into your skin. Just go against the wave, 'cause we all end up in the same place. Drown the words of your real friends, they're waiting for this phase to end. No one likes to hear the words I told you so. Take it out and tear it up. Tear it up until it cuts and leaves the smallest piece. Who are you when no one's around? Are you capable of life through yours and no one else's eyes? Scratch the words into your skin. Just go against the wave, 'cause we all end up in the same place. When your eyes shut, will you leave with the wrong story told? In your last breath, will you wonder, was I always a ghost? Was I always just a ghost or someone else? Was I always just a ghost or someone else? Who are you when no one's around? Are you capable of life through yours and no one else's eyes? Scratch the words into your skin. Just go against the wave, 'cause we all end up in the same place. She ain't mine, but she look fine. Gonna take some time, gonna make her mine, gonna make her mine. I'm the man, I got the plan. When it hits the fan, do all I can, do all I can. When she lets her hair down, she drives me wild.
Folks, welcome back to the North American Challengers Elite Stage 3. My name is McCormick, alongside myself is Proper. Jesse wasn't feeling too good, so Proper just willingly took the torch forward, and well, he'll be with us from here on out for what is going to be hopefully another great matchup like we saw beforehand. But Fantastic Four once again versus the UT crew. Both teams coming off of triumphant matches and wins. But Proper, I mean, Fantastic Four with a 3-1 victory. UT crew with a 3-0 victory over Easter. This is going to be a bloodbath.
I honestly, you're right to be able to say so. I mean, like Easter, obviously one of the most dominant teams, but this is not the same squad that you might remember. They were playing previously on the main channel, and one thing definitely sticks out more than anything, at least for Easter, is that they are lacking a little bit of synergy. You will end up seeing that. Of course, Civ is nasty no matter what they do, no matter what team that they play with, but you will end up seeing a lot of synergistical issues with Easter, and that might be something that Triumph might be able to take advantage of. But from the overall slaying power, that's what I think is what my immediate concern will go to. How consistent are they going to be able to be on the day through that best of 5 series? You can say the same thing for Fantastic Four versus UT Crew, right? Coming off
absolutely.
fantastic wins, which is going to be for our mainstay on this channel. And you would almost have to assume that with this change that did come through for UT Crew, Major Maniac now playing off the rip with an AR, Dylan Rex now off the rip with an SMG. It's working wonderfully. Who would have thought that Major Maniac has experience on the AR, and Rex did start with UT Crew overall with an SMG in hand. So that might be something that Fantastic Four, as good as they did look in their opening matchup, have to be wary of.
Yeah, and as I said beforehand, Easter with that 0-3 loss to UT Crew coming off of a great win, but more importantly, they go ahead up to 3-1 overall here inside of stage 3. But Robert, one thing I want to kind of note between these two teams specifically is the fact that each team has had their inconsistencies in respawn, and they've only really started to show at least kind of flying colors in these last 2 matches. For Fantastic Four was against NYSL Academy, for UT Crew was against Easter. However, there's caveats to both of those two. Number one, UT Crew, obviously, you mentioned it beforehand, roster changes that come through. Players not maybe having that synergy, but have that chemistry. But more importantly, for the side of Fantastic Four, you do lose that control 0-3. And although those hard points were close for the most part against NYSL, you do finally break through in the worst statistical mode that you had overall throughout the entirety of the season. So realistically speaking, going into this, UT Crew, I think their inconsistencies might show through a little bit more than the side of Fantastic Four, specifically since they had to go up against a team that had a roster change recently.
I mean, that's a heavy stretch, right? You're talking about like 2 teams that essentially got thrown together right around the same time. As I seem to get lost in the pixelation. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. Just as like I just seem to fly inside this broadcast. Man, that looks
see
so
the man
freaky.
bun still.
That's
all that matters.
I gotta
That's all
figure
that
out how
matters.
this even happens. But regardless, you hear my voice. Don't worry about my face. Nobody really cares to see that anyway. But I honestly think that you're at least looking at a certain aspect that you might be able to exploit, and that could be at least some. Again, we look at the synergistical issues. We talk about Fantastic Four, all 4 of them previous pro players that did play in this current Cold War season with various teams. You almost have to think that when they're kind of going throughout the map, that they're almost relying on a multitude of other players to be there for them. Those teams that they were, of course, playing with during those CDL teams. That sort of muscle memory doesn't exactly go away overnight, even through a week's base of practice. Yep. On the other side for UT Crew, though, Phantoms, Yeez, they all have a lot of time spent together, and you can't overlook what Phantoms and Rex were able to at least atone for when Jimbo and Sibilance did move away from the roster originally from the start of Elite. I think that when it comes down to overall synergy issues, I think that you're probably going to see more be exploited on the side for Fantastic Four versus UT Crew. But again, it's all tough to say as we see that the hardpoint is underway. Will be our first mapped overall. UT Crew versus Fantastic Four. Raid hardpoint. Let's go.
Maniac over the top. Shots from the Krig. Going to be able to at least take one for a bit time, but as he's come through middle map, he's going to be able to find 2. Oh, why not make it 3 right off the rip? Push the side of Fantastic Four back into their spawns. UT Crew, they'll get inside the point with about 45 seconds left. Mainstay, well, at least for the time being, it's going to be thought process over towards P1, but you got to think about the kitchen, and well, they'll break through instantaneously as Rex goes ahead and finds 2.
And that was a great opening flurry. Given you still have 30 seconds left in P1, that's time that Fantastic Four can set up themselves to try to break through the middle of the map, if not towards this P2 spawns. Actually going to give up all of the time, and well, the middle of the map is going to be covered. Eases over by Bamboo. Desi at least is going to actually find 1 and get some team shots towards another inside a kitchen to start things off, but Fire is left alone over here inside a kitchen. Would love to see them play their life a little bit more. Slack is going to get peace through the middle of the map, and still maintaining those spawns for UT Crew.
Oh, there's methods to find 3. Almost is able to find Yeez for number 4. And as they do go ahead and keep kitchen spawns in their favor, it is going to be an all-assault through the front door for Fantastic Four. They've got a couple players coming through. Slacks is going to be able to find 1. The double challenge is there. Methods finds the shots. Yeez is there. Pinstripe kill feed will award the side of UT Crew, who get those favorable spawns. And as Slacks flies in, nobody from the side of Fantastic Four yet to push immediately back on through. 20 seconds off the point. UT Crew holds strong.
We'll be able to hold strong too, and keep in mind that Fantastic Four, they gave up a solid 30 seconds all the way down to the scrap time and try to fight for these P2 spawns, and well, they're still unsuccessful in breaking through the front. You see Methods dips their toe inside the hard point. He's like, oh, I'll be able to contest for at least a second, but I mean, by no stretch of the imagination, we're staring down the barrel of a 70-point lead currently for UT Crew. Got one player towards the back. Methods toward the middle of the map is at least going to be able to find two, but an avenue does exist. Players for UT Crew had already moved their way past driveway, so that means at Fantastic Four, they're going to spawn in towards P2. So now it's all up to fire. How many kills can they find? It's only going to be one, so now UT Crew have already threaded the rotation. They'll be here for the initial time.
And they're going to get the spawns there too. So as everybody from the side of UT Crew is set up, Fantastic Four. And we'll look too hot here proper. Hill upon hill after hill have been strung together by the side of UT Crew. Well, why don't you just give Dylan another three-piece here, this time over towards Art. It's a masterpiece, truly. Outspoken UT Crew, they have absolutely exposed every angle, every crevice from Fantastic Four, and it really seems that all the momentum that Fantastic Four had from that initial series has gone down the drain. UT Crew, they're putting the beaten down.
Just keeping their heads on a swivel, just always reading where these hits are coming from. Okay, we dealt with one player over towards driveway. Now we got to turn towards AC, but that double hit from Fantastic Four that started off as 3 is finally all the way through. We'll be able to break in for the scrap time, so putting themselves further up on the board, but it's going to be about a 114 to about 30 points. And UT Crew, again, timely as far as flipping the spawns or losing the gunfight, whatever may have you. Will be here for the initial time for P4, and they're already zoning away on jungle and have players inside a kitchen. Two very vocal points for this hill.
This is beautiful, proper. Every single time UT Crew have gotten those rotations over towards the next point, and it's been on those initial breaks. Fantastic Four, they've tried to rotate many times, and it's been shut down because of the gunfights that go in the side of the UT Crew. Fantastic Four, the only player that's even close to being able to say that they're having a great game. 12-9 at methods. UT Crew continue to push back over towards the point as Major Maniac finds one. Ease will find one as well. That's 3 down for Fantastic Four. They're going to spawn over towards bottom bedroom and try to push through middle map and water, but it's going to be pretty much futile at this point because with about 25 seconds left, now you've got once again to start thinking about the rotations, and you are getting absolutely outclassed in every number.
Rotations, kills. It's just everything. Yeah, outclassing on almost all 4 corners of the box. AR for at least Fantastic Four, like you highlighted for Methods, is trying everything, but Rex, no slash with the Crick 6 in hand. It's going to be now looking at 4 straight for them, 19-8. What a start for the young lad. Finds number 20 on the board. And even as we rotate towards the center of the map, you would just hope, if you're a fan of Fantastic Four, that they can hold this hill, but Major Maniac, Rex, they're able to combine for 2. It's just up to Decimate. There's a trophy system on the hill. They'll break it. Major Maniac on the rock is going to get help from Phantoms via the kitchen side. And UT Crew, they break the initial time. They're here for it all.
At this point, proper, you starting to think about getting all ready to get on to map number 2 here if you're the side of Fantastic Four? I mean, right now you're 4-0 in game number 2s for S&D, so realistically speaking, you know, it's it might be the time to just kind of chalk this one up to the wayside because you've had nothing go in your favor.
That's certainly one way of putting it. At least you're able to break your way in for the scrap time, but it's got to be more than that going in towards the second side of hill. Someone has to deal the way that Rex is just playing through the map so methodically. And the rest of UT Crew, I mean, they're just feasting on it. Look at Major Maniac. Say what you will, 7-7. They have 1 minute and 42 worth of hill time. The rest of UT Crew, they're just zoning away. Rex with the submachine gun, great opening engagement for them. And as 2 players will exist on the backside of kitchen for Fantastic Four, that's all fine and dandy. P1 and the second set of hills have spawned. UT Crew are in there. They're zoning away rings so well while also playing for the backside of laundry. This is just methodical and beautiful hard point from UT Crew.
11 and 33. That is what Decimate and Fire are combining for right now in terms of kills to deaths. If that doesn't speak volumes to you as a casual Call of Duty fan, let that ring through the hallways because that is something that is not going to be able to get you wins. And when you talk about slaying out against your opponents, you've got to be able to at least have some sort of, I guess, potency on the map is the best way to kind of put it. They haven't made themselves felt. Their presence hasn't been there whatsoever throughout the entirety of the map. And although it's still possible for the side of Fantastic Four to come back, I won't say it's not possible because we know how you can string hills together here on Raid Proper. It just looks time after time when Fantastic Four takes a step forward, it's just 3 steps backwards.
It's just whether or not the execution's going to be there. I mean, Fire's not even averaging a kill per hardpoint. They're 5-17 right now. Decimate's a non-benefactor of 9-17, and that is their biggest slayer of them all, too. It's really saying something when the likes of Decimate can't keep up with Methods, who have been really hand-in-hand all the way through, at least from their start from Elite, when we've seen them at the tippy top all the way in the scrims when we're watching from Methods' perspective. But Fire now trying to play the tree. Major Maniac will end up getting the trade. And again, it is very doable, but again, the execution's got to be flawless. And inside P2, Fantastic Four, they are in. They have the numbers. UT Crew, of course, with the leader's advantage, might just look to zone away. Decimate was hoping for 1. on the flank, but UT Crew might just hit this one last time.
If I have to, I'll eat my own words here by saying this one might be over, because Fantastic Four, they're continuously clawing their way back into this, and look where they're going to actually spawn across the map. So even if this stays contested for the last maybe 10 seconds or so, they're still going to have the opportunity for rotations here, and now it's a pinch play opportunity for Fantastic Four as well. So starting to heat up, definitely on the table. It's not over yet.
It's not over yet, and I get it from UT Crew's perspective to a certain degree, right? You got the leader's advantage. You keep Fantastic Four, and they're always zipping at their heels, whatever analogy you want to say. But Fantastic Four, they're gifted this setup. They're already inside the hill. How long can you stay alive from Major Maniac? Turns and burns on Slack. I won't almost stop for a second. He's going to be able to find the second on the methods, but can't find the aim. And this is an opportunity, again, for Fantastic Four. You get this back 40, right? Even contested it and all. You're going to put yourself closer towards that 200-point margin. The biggest problem is that you got to get players like you see off screen. Slack is able to find one of Major Maniac inside a bedroom, already threatening towards the middle of the map. Do not let UT Crew get this control.
Fire. Huge kill there on a Phantom. Z's gets back in towards the hard point. This is the problem. They keep letting one person straggle towards the end of the scrap time to be able to either knock them off of the point or make sure that push can't come through towards that next hill without sacrificing a little bit of that time, which is slowly getting them closer to 250 points. Right now, Fantastic Four, the last time we saw them rotate over towards P3 proper, it was not a great push. It was not a great hold. And once again, they look to do the same on the side of UT Crew. Hold everybody at bay, and here comes Slack. Push over towards the back. Shots with the Krig over the top, looking for a couple more trophy systems and Hill. We'll go ahead and prohibit that for the time being, but as Slack finds another, they found their way in towards the point. They've gotten themselves in the hill. With 50 seconds left, Fantastic Four once again find the break.
Starting to really pick up the pace. Slack now at 22 and 18, 27 and 19 for Methods, who goes for the slide chow. Phantoms will slam them where they stand. Fire inside the small room actually wins the one versus Phantoms. Are they going to have some help? They absolutely will force Major Maniac for the team kill. They're in for the time being. No trophy system to keep them safe from any nades. You would think that Fantastic Four with the numbers are able to retake this hill. It seems that way. They just got to deal with the respawns coming from this the spiral staircase.
Dylan, last one alive, will fall. Proper, if you remember, P5, last time, it was all UT Crew. They were able to hold on strong, but now, most importantly, Fantastic Four, they have an opportunity to break from the water step side. You've got players number 2 and number 1, that's Major Maniac and Yeez, looking back over towards that last point, waiting for the players from Fantastic Four to push up. Fire with some shots over the top will cause a little bit of suppression and allow players to potentially get a little bit of momentum inside of Kitchen to push out towards middle map, but as the hill pops in towards point number 5, Major Maniac finds 2, and the UT Crew should be able to win off this hill.
Should be able to close it out. It just comes down to locking down the rest of the kills. Are they going to be able to read that they're coming from the Zig staircase? Rex is here. Fire will slam them down. Can anybody get to the hill in time? The answer is absolutely maybe. Slack barely gets here in time. 1v1, Spinny, Razzle Dazzle. Major Maniac will end up getting some help, of course, from Kitchen, but UT Crew are going to be able to close it out finally. And I say finally 250 to 194, McCormill, but like, this was about to be a 100-point club a few hills ago.
Oh, it was well on its way.
A lot of our way back. What was that?
I mean, that just goes to show that a slow start from 2 players and them being able to flip that switch a little bit throughout the game, even if it's just a few more kills than what you were getting beforehand. You said it yourself, Proper. Fire wasn't even averaging 1 kill per hard point at a certain point throughout the game. Was able to flip that. I mean, even just getting maybe 10 kills throughout the rest of that game is going to put his team in a better spot all around. Especially with this team as well. They were 11 for 37 at one point throughout that game. 11 for 33 throughout that game. So you're basically going triple negative as a duo in total. So Proper. With that being said, Fantastic Four, they've never lost map number 2 S&D. Will that be the same case here, especially since they started to heat up towards the end of that game?
Well, it's going to Express, right? And you would think that on Express, that's exactly where a map like somebody like Methods would be able to absolutely fry. It's got to come down to the ARs, and that was what the immediate factor was, right? When did we finally see the biggest input from the game? It was when Slack was able to at least find one, being able to block a rotation. Then they picked up an AR, having that double weapon setup. But when we saw them there towards the end on that force spree, the abundance of those kills and abundance of all that damage that was found was actually with the Krig picking up that slack, quite pun intended, that Fire was leaving behind, because the AR flex not being able to find those trades, at least in hardpoint, if it's not there in search and destroy, man, we're going to have an issue in this 3v4 that we're going to continuously have as far as the maps are concerned. As we can take a look at that best of 5 map set on your screen, you'll see, of course, that first hardpoint is now done and dusted, 250, 192, and very questionable concerns there towards the end. But still, UT Crew able to close it out, right? And Express Search and Destroy, as we were talking about, is our go-to next. Guaranteed for the third map will be that Garrison Control. And then hope you enjoy your stay in the USSR, McCormick, because we got a double dose in Moscow if we get there.
I do love my Soviet brethren. But I must say, Proper, there's one thing here that is in the back of my mind, continuously nagging at me, and it was the same thing about last series for this Fantastic Four. If they would have gotten to a map number 5, they have only won Express one time, and that came in the form of a game 2. Sure, that's all fine and dandy, nice. But you're going up against a very, very strong team in UT Crew, a very hot team after being able to take the series off of Easter, but more importantly, a 6-2 win in the S&D. They're going to come out, they're going to be hot in the S&D specifically, but on a map that the side of Fantastic Four struggled on with Express, losing 2 Game 5s on this very map specifically. Can you go ahead and find your way on this map? You said beforehand, you know, when you look at Methods, when you look at Decimate, when you look at Fire and Slack, you would say that this could be a map that could suit them very nicely, but in the past, it has not been kind to them. A 4-6 and a 1-6 loss don't bode well.
And you go back to some of those losses for Fantastic Four on Express Search and Destroy. That 6-1 loss, of course, was to Built by Gamers. And one of their biggest problems against Built by Gamers was Kismet on the submachine gun. It continuously be a nuisance. And they always had to question whether or not Kismet was either A, hitting main halls as both offensive and defensive like. All right, we always got to be concerned of our flanks for Kismet. And sometimes they just weren't there. So that was a certain exploit that, at least for Fantastic Four, BBG were able to find. And at least when Kismet wasn't hitting those flanks, they were able to at least isolate those very long gunfights. I'm talking from departures to arrivals across the info booth over by the B site, at least from catwalk to catwalk on those back staircase over top of the map room. The AR battles just weren't there. The biggest difference, at least for me, comparatively to that day versus BBG, I think you just got to look at the overall comfort that we are seeing, especially towards the end. That little break-in back in towards P3 and then in towards P4, that was some of the most coordinated play that I've seen from Fantastic Four, and they're going to have to be able to resemble some of that. And the same thing could be said on their first match of the day, McCormill. They're going to have to absolutely slay out while also watching over each other's backs. And it should be a pretty good map for them, but the same exploits I just explained, UT Crew can find because Rex is again on that submachine gun. And if they feel the ante, they might just pull that sub again and work their way into their backline.
So, I mean, realistically speaking here inside of Express for Search and Destroy, this Fantastic Four maybe favored that A side or that B side on the offensive side just due to the way that they kind of had that synergy coming together from all the other Express modes. I mean, we've seen them be able to play both, but seemingly one's been a little bit more favorable than the other.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's for sure. And then some maps, of course, will end up coming through. Maybe you were feeling yourself as far as scrims are concerned. We have been seeing that and annotating it probably a little bit too much for our own concern, considering we are pushing scrim bucks, at least when we are watching from Methods POV on their stream. But even still, it depends on the day. Really, when it comes down to what one map may look better. And I think most importantly, at least for Fantastic Four, when you are looking at their raid success comparatively to their Express success, that might end up being the go-to veto for UT Crew. But at the end of it, at least you might go towards Express, where you do have some comfort through multiple game titles now, at least from some of these players. You might be able to showcase some of those abilities because, again, you're going to have to rely on not only that experience, but a lot of that ability to find those first bloods. And again, all eyes are really on Methods and Slack. They Fire a real non-benefactor in that hard point. If they can at least find a trade or two, it might put Fantastic Four in a favorable situation.
You can say that again proper, but now looking over towards the B site on the flank, it's going to be Fire just framing that and playing a bit slow. Methods is going to be able to spot out Phantoms over towards that right side. Stuns, nades, and everything else are going to come over towards the top. Decimate around that right side corner. Should be able to at least get some information on a couple of players. Yeez with some shots in towards top A is going to force Methods to back off here for just a second, but it's a very aggressive retake from UT Crew that finds them the first blood.
Here's Rex with that sub that I was just talking about. They are denying space inside the plane, but Slack just drops him, pre-aiming the corner and all. Just up to Yeez and Major Maniac. Yeez already found the first over towards Decimate. That's really their entry SMG, so you think a lot of that pressure does rely on Slack, but they got the bomb. They're actually going to go for the first challenge. Yeez is right there for the trade.
Oh.
Is he able to retrain on the second? Challenge is Fire. Are they able to find the last? Oh my. That is why you talk about Yeez, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That right there, proper, single-handedly is why Yeez has been the difference maker in S&Ds and can win you or lose you a game. That aggressive SMG play, no fear whatsoever. 4 kills in the round, gets the ace. 3 more kills. It doesn't matter how many rounds it takes. 3 more kills, get him at least a streak.
I think what's most scary about that too, whether the communication, at least from the player towards Fantastic Four, at least calm that was a 1v3. You got to get that trade, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Fire did not hold that angle. They were, of course, weak from a previous gunfight, but UT Crew almost rinse repeat of exactly what Fantastic Four just did. They have 3 players towards their catwalk, McCoy Mill, so they should have players here. Trophy systems not here quite yet, so a lot of information is traded out.
He has to be careful here, trying to get away, and Will gets that bomb down, so that is going to be a couple extra points there for Yeez. Kill number 5 on the board as well. So doesn't realize that he needs to play his life here, and I believe he will. Methods will spot the player in towards A, and as he starts this push back over towards the side, it is going to be Phantoms who cleans up that kill. So 3 versus 2 on the retake with 25 seconds left.
Oh, and he's just playing the corner. They're just bottlenecking them. You got to work your way inside the plane. It's Decimate for a 1v2. Already had the info on the inside of the plane. And that got scary for one circumstance. You didn't have that trophy system initially, but you did have the coverage, at least looking over towards that A site. And that was probably one of the biggest stark differences in between the offense push over towards A between these 2 teams, right? Instead of getting first blooded, not only do they find first blood, but they quickly put themselves on the site. There was no shots that were coming from the enemy catwalk. If they were already deterred from Phantoms in that very powerful position. Fantastic Four were just completely shooken off. I talk about this on a Miami quite often, but you ain't got no smokes to cut line of sight. Just get those opening shots for it. Be able to open up the space. But here comes Fantastic Four. Looking for another A push, but this time around is UT Crew. They got 2 players defensively here. Rex is looking for the same push in the middle of the train, and they find Desi again.
Last time it was a Yeez, 1 versus 3 that won the round on the defensive side. This time, though, it's going to be 4-2 already for the round in UT Crew's favor. Fantastic Four up top. It is going to be a nade. They cut out Methods for the time being. And once again, you just got to have Yeez playing his life here. He's going to be making that flank all the way back throughout the spawn. Methods is going to be able to find the shots onto 1, but Maniac is going to be able to clean up the kill. Fire left alive in a 1 versus 4. It's a situation that you should never win.
Fire, that's just such an advantageous gunfight. Submachine gun, barrel, G8, whatever you may say. You're stuck in a 1v situation with submachine gun, and that, again, it's that push. I talked about it heading in towards the map. If Rex is feeling the ante, they'll pick up that second sub with Yeez. At the beginning of the season, it was Jimbo there with Yeez, or Jimbo with Rex, and then, of course, Sib and Jimbo end up leaving the team for UT Crew, so then they pick up Jintroid and Yeez. Jintroid no longer with the team, and Toe is Major Maniac, but Yeez has always been one of those mainstays, especially for the submachine gun. And that is such a slaying power that UT Crew have been able to find. They are now on 5 straight through 3 rounds.
Switching it up here, going over towards B. First offensive round was an A. Major Maniac looking back over towards that left side. Yeez is going to get cut down. Semtex comes through. Decimate will find 2. And now here comes Phantoms looking for a potential trade. Maniac finds Slacked in a technical trade. Now it's a 1 versus 2 once again. Major Maniac can't find the kill. First round on the board for Fantastic Four, and that's a much needed one.
Look, it's this perspective right here. Where's Fire? He's in that trade spot, is able to find the first trade, catches the players in the background. His Methods was still down low in info, conveying all this information. It's exactly what you want to see out of Fire. 4-3 now. As for first blood, it's able to at least find a few for Fantastic Four, but it comes down to capitalizing on it. And as far as overall aggression, we have seen that from UT Crew. Decimate is not as comfortable as finding these first bloods as we've seen in our Search and Destroy pass.
Yeez can play much more aggressive now, not having to worry about playing for streaks. As we see him pushing all the way up towards info already, it is going to be Methods who goes ahead and finds the trade with 2 Phantoms over towards the right. Semtex is in, and now they can start to potentially make a push over there, and Methods is going to want to get aggressive. Decimate going to find Major Maniac. So now 1 versus 3 here for Phantom shots on the Method. Won't be able to find him. Bomb goes down over towards B.
Phantoms would still love to be able to lock down that first kill. Of course, that's going to give their position, but Tessie again gets caught in a very narrow lane. Less narrow than the train, but still in the submachine gun's hands, you would think you would win that, but Phantom says no, absolutely not. 25 seconds remaining. He's now going to re-enter themselves from the staircase. Such a hard side to take in this situation.
Playing it perfectly. Fantastic Four just going to hop on the bomb. Peeks back over towards the left. Gets the shots there on the Phantoms. Now, if you're Methods, you just can't peek around the corner for too long. Don't give yourself away here. You can just play the time. Methods going to have to challenge out. Oh, he was able to get it too! 1 versus 2. The defuse comes through. Just got it off with maybe 0.1 second to spare.
What? Look, I've seen Phantoms in pictures, in plenty of places. I can compare their size, but how does that massive brain fit in that cranium, man? What was that? Again, they were able to find the first. That was on the Desi in the main hall. But the way that they finessed that heady was disgusting. Paris benched him all season last year. Are you insane? He's crazy.
Proper, if I was a general manager and I benched that player, call me a madman, please. Please do it for the love of my life, for the love of Call of Duty. Over the top, Semtex is there. Yee's pushing aggressively. Sliding around the corner, Semtex is going to come back once again. Slacked over towards that right side. Major Maniac can't find the shots there on the Decimate, but Yeez is there for the trade. We'll find his second in the round. And, well, this is looking comparable to what we saw in round number 1 proper. An aggressive push from UT Crew, although over towards B, works out in their favor. A 1-versus-1 for Phantoms will seal the round.
it was Methods probably say, not again, you are not getting that bomb site scot-free. No sirree, I will win this one, but again, just playing the timing, waiting for the challenge. But again, it's those first bloods. It's always going to come down to those first bloods, regardless of whether Fantastic Four has found them. As far as the round coverage is concerned, even with those 2 on the board, they were only able to close out one of those rounds. It's Yeez that is just creating such a distress up close. Rex is 3 and 6 playing that extra roll. Yeez for the trade, and he got Phantoms to worry about in the back. He's now on 5 straight. UT Crew is on something different right now.
Quietly worked his way up onto the leaderboard, and well, as we mentioned, the 5 spree, he will fall and lose his life. That'll give Fantastic Four an in over towards B. The bomb will go down, but Major Maniac will even things out at 3 versus 3. 40 seconds left, and here comes the retake.
Oh, this is going to be so unfortunate. Slack actually challenges, throws a bow, I believe, towards Major Maniac. That's towards Rivals, so they're now going to replace themselves, probably towards the middle of the map, but on screen, Desi is able to take down Yeez. That is a big kill. You do not want to lose that flank kill. Methods is also under pressure, and that's their win condition spot right there. It is blown up entirely. It's all up to Decimate.
Decimate finds the kill around the corner. Dylan Rex comes through, and that is it. The S&D, it's all over. UT Crew with a 6-1 victory in a retake that once again should not have happened. Impossible rounds on the retakes when they're on the defensive sides. It was a walk in the park on Express.
And I'd be interested, again, to see it from Slack's perspective, at least from the mini-map. I feel like that they completely turned the corner, and then Major Maniac got that information. And it was that information, of course, meant that Slack was in that position. They have retaken the site before, so you know Methods is close to back info, and there's probably a player closer towards departures of where the offensive team normally spawns. So once you already know that Decimate is towards the info booth, that's fine. Don't worry about it. We will take this from the staircase and through the main hallway as well. And they executed wonderfully. They pressure out Methods. Like I said, that was the win condition spot. You saw it happen from the last round. It was just the big brain of Phantoms that was inevitably able to shut it down, that I'm sure a lot of players will lose sleep over the way that Phantoms was able to win that round out. But even still, it's a very methodical search and destroy. It was very fast-paced, as some Express typically goes. But it was very smart the way that we just saw UT Crew just break down every single round, from first bloods to clutch rounds.
We came in here into the series with Fantastic Four being able to take a huge win in a huge series, 3-1 over the side of the New York Subliners. For the side of UT Crew, you 3-0 Easter coming into this. Now you improved to 3-1. You're 1 map away from going ahead and improving to 4-1 throughout the entirety of the round robins here in North American Challengers. And Proper, it kind of begs the question too, right? If you are UT Crew, you've been close multiple times as an organization. You've been close multiple times as a team to getting to that last step and being able to come away with a win inside of the stages, specifically in stage 2. Looking for stage 3 here now, you have a grand opportunity not only to go up 4-1, but be at the top of your class.
It is a big opportunity, right? Because Phantoms and Rex, they were a part of that team that was right there. And for them to finally find what clicks would be perfect. Big old 3 kills open up for UT Crew. But it's Decimate at the end, is able to find the only 2 kills for Fantastic Four so far. That means that A presence is here. UT Crew, they gotta get Desi off this hill. Or the zone, rather.
Maniac on the flank. Gonna be able to spot out 1. Gets the shots there. Gonna be able to pick up 2. And, well, now can just play Thorn in the side and be a nuisance in the back spawn. You're gonna have to pick him out eventually. And, well, as he continues to just absolutely rain hell in the back spawn, Fire is gonna be the next challenger. We'll at least find the kill for now, but realistically speaking, you've pushed Fantastic Four all the way back into their spawn. Dylan Rex is now able to push up, and now you have Phantoms trying to play spoiler once again, just as we saw his teammate do a little bit beforehand.
Just comes down to that opening breakoff, right? If you can win it convincingly, you can get control of the zones. It was just one player that was left alive, and the manipulation through the middle of the map has been sublime for UT Crew so far. Down to 27 seconds to be able to make a play towards one of these zones. And it seems that Fantastic Four, they still want Destiny to try to make a play towards A. UT Crew continuously have players over here, so you don't think it's going to work. Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Proper on the mainstream. BBG takes down LAG Academy 3-0. After a raid control, they win 3-0 as well. So a dominant series there by BBG. Puts them in a great opportunity, a great position to once again resurge their entirety of Stage 3 after starting, what was it, 1-3 overall?
Yeah.
And now pushing back up to even at 3-3 after 2 huge wins. And as UT Crew takes this round here in round number 1 on the defensive side, Fantastic Four have absolutely no response for what the side of UT Crew has thrown at them through 3 different maps and modes.
And who was BBG's first win to go into today? 1-3 was none other than Fantastic Four in a map 5 barn burner. Again, for BBG, we were kind of pushing this narrative yesterday, Alan and I, but every match is winnable for them. That is big. Seems to be a big old battle, at least for 5th and 6th. Who's going to be those lower cut teams? Everybody's getting better. It's such a freaky time. But just as freaky as it is, Garrison control. Offense, they're come by Easter Sunday, you would hope, next year. It's very tough, is what I'm trying to get out here, McCormick. But UT Crew now on the offense, they're going to try to give their best showing for it. They find the opening 2 kills. SMA knows that there are players over by P4, but Major Maniacs in the power position, that suspended tank. The kills are glorious, and UT Crew are in.
You get the last kill up in top green. That automatically allows you to have 3 players to push either through middle map or out over towards the A zone. You get 1 tick over at B. You're looking for your second bit of progress now. And if you look at the set of Fantastic Four, they pushed all the way back over towards A. They're basically willing just to chalk up the entirety of B to hold down A. And will it work? Sure, we saw it work for the side of NYSL over the side of Fantastic Four, maybe pulling a page out of their book, but realistically speaking, how much are you willing to give if you're the side of Fantastic Four? There was basically no competition, no contention over towards that B zone.
Certain moments when you lose the opening breakoff like that for a defensive team, it's probably just better to chalk the B zone. Of course, that A zone is the harder one to take, but it's more of just a slow whittle down of the lice is what you're seeing from Fantastic Four. 2-7 start for Fire. Again, their biggest woes for a hard point or not finding their trades, but at least for Slacked and Desi have definitely been picking up the pace, at least through these opening losing round, and that opening breakoff was not good at all, but we were able to shave some time, McCormill. Now it's only a 1 life lead. UT Crew again are trying to suggest their way towards the back. You would love cobblestone control, but Fantastic Four, they're getting control of the big door. Those are longer lines of sight that you gotta be wary of if you work your way forward.
Well, now you get yourself P5 control. You can start to push out towards Cobble and more importantly, in towards the back spawn. Well, if Yeast finds one, which he will, Fire finds the trade, but more importantly, that's going to be a little bit of positioning for UT Crew to get maybe over towards the safe site. Slack playing over towards the back. Phantoms now knows that that player is there. Gets a spot over towards the left, and that really was just an all-around unfortunate situation of bad timing for Phantoms as he tried to push out. Started out 11-3, 11-4, still truly the reason how UT Crew not only was able to win this map, but the S&D as well.
Would love an offensive round win. There's 48 seconds to still just throw your lives towards getting this zone. Again, already capturing the B zone, you are at least a milestone ahead of Fantastic Four if it comes down towards that round number 5. But nevertheless, last attempt for UT Crew to try to take this A zone. Methods is all the way in a power position. Almost feels remnants of Search and Destroy here on this very map. Glad it doesn't exist anymore, but here comes it out from green.
Slack with the shots over the top, finds 1. Slack with 2, is able to escape with his life. Phantom's still up top. The contest is there, so time is stopped as he hops back in towards green. Now the rest of the Fantastic Four can push back up the map and be able to go ahead and hold those power positions all the way towards the back. You do have cover to work with, and Fires in towards the back. He's got a couple of shots onto a few players from the side of the UT Crew starting to push up, but as Decimate will fall, there it is going to be 2 more players from the side of Fantastic Four who find kills. 3 go down. The last player pushing in through Cobble. That should be the round, and it will be. Fantastic Four, they're going to go ahead and tie things up 1 apiece.
It's a good defensive round win. Again, it doesn't come down to always just necessarily the kills. It suggests more for the tick progression, if you will. And the entire zone was captured, so at least if it does go defense for defense, you're feeling pretty darn gravy about taking that B zone, McCormill. You are UT Crew. Again, whittling down the win conditions. It's so tough on the Garrison control. Would probably have been more preferred for one of these teams to go towards raid, or at least checkmate, depending on which side you're looking at. But Garrison, if it gets through, it is more of a mental strain of trying to make your way towards the defense. So many times it looked good for UT Crew to try to work their way in towards A, but to flip the spawns towards the south end of the west of the map, It's easier said than done. So Fantastic Four are going to take another scholar's try towards their offensive side.
Slacked finds 8 in a row. That's the cruise missile. Artillery barrage earned 2 streaks to use for Fantastic Four. And now the question comes proper. You know, if you get behind on the defensive side, do you use it there? If you're up on offense and you're starting to push up the map and you're able to get an in over towards A, is that when you start to use the streak, or you just kind of save it here? I would assume it's going to happen to be the save portion, because this could go to a round 5 very easily.
And if it goes to a round 5, barring that at least you're able to get one of these zones, and at least you're dancing with the idea that you could be on that defensive side, and that is more potent to use on that A zone. You can give it up and play for the retake, and Fantastic Four, they are suggesting just that. What a brilliant take coming out from Dark. They overwhelm the reinforcements from Lights and Top Green. The B zone will be secured, and they're already threatening Green.
This time around, you don't get spawn trapped. You're able to get a hold of it, but now you want to go ahead and win this offensive round. You're going to try and curve it around. Are you going to be able to find it? Major Maniac will fall, so will Yeez. You've got 2 players on the point, and now it's all 4 down. UT Crew, it's a foot race back over towards the point. Fire, Decimate, all pushed up, waiting for these players to start sprinting back towards the point. Everybody on Fantastic Four is streaking in some capacity. You look for Fire, you look for Decimate, you look for the kills to come through, and everybody on the side of UT Crew falls. Fantastic Four take an offensive round, all thanks to the streak from Strack.
And that was going to be the other side of the coin that I was talking about. If it gets to round 5, holding on towards that streak on the defensive side, you're feeling pretty darn good about yourself. But what about being able to find traditional kills, getting players in top green towards the shipment square, and then pulling in the cruise missile to be able to get out of bricks, get it completely cleared out? Slacked is on one right now. Another 5 spree, 17-7 for them. And they were in the money spot that entire time for the retake. It was a 2-player stack. They were towards the shipment square, closer towards P5, and just waited for Fantastic Four to work towards bricks and just blew it up from behind. 17-7, 5 straight again, going in towards a big round for them. UT Crew, they gotta win an offense.
Proper also, by the way, Decimate also has an artillery barrage to work with as well. So you've got 2 artilleries here on the defensive side to clear out A if you need to. More and more, as this series continues to go forward, and specifically the control at hand, looks like the side of Fantastic Four might be able to force map number 4.
If you're a fan of all 4 of these players, and you are just hoping so, a Major Maniac, at least being able to find one. Rex is zoning away. Great shots. Rex for the challenge. Oh, Decimate's going to be able to find it. But Phantoms is there for the trade. So they're still threatening 2 zones. It's only 1 player strong. Fantastic Four, they're more worried about the A zone, but the second tick already comes through.
That's not good. Folks, if you haven't watched Control before, you're not exactly sure why that's bad. A is the much harder zone to take control of. And the side of UT Crew, as they get onto that point, they're able to get 2 ticks, and they're going to be able to complete the B zone at the same time. So all it takes is 1 good push from the side of UT Crew. They're up by 4 lives, now make it 5. If they can get back to this point and do exactly what they did on the first offensive side, but continue to have the kills going in their favor, they should be able to take an offensive round and force from round number 5.
And it's just that, right? Once they lost the B zone, they just hurdled up on an A hold. I don't even think UT Crew got a toe towards the A zone, but now you're looking at a great attempt at it. You would love to be able to take down Slacked inside of Cobble, but good luck. They are the raid boss in this lobby. 20-9. Rex, although having a great map 1 and 2, are a non-benefactor at 8-16 on the opposite side. Yeez as well. Big Slayer for them at 11-14. Leading the charge, of course, is Phantoms, +5 for them. But as a main AR, you can't break in towards Cobble. You see, it just doesn't work.
I mean, can you say anything better about Slacked? 21-9. Didn't have a great first round, but now as the players from the side of UT Crew go ahead and break through Square and Cobble, they should be able to go ahead and control the entirety of A. Are you going to sacrifice a streak here? No. You're going to go to round number 5. And now this begs the question proper. Who gets the offense? Who gets the defense? Because all of those rounds were extremely close. I'm pretty sure, though, on the first offensive try, because the side of Fantastic Four weren't able to get in towards really any second, got spawn trapped the entirety of the round, it's going to be the side of the UT Crew who has defense.
I'm done guessing. Me and Shift tried our best last night. It's over. I'm done with it. Whoever gets it, gets it. Congratulations. It was easier to do when I could pull out my T83 Plus calculator and just add up kills, but I got to remember tick progression. Really testing my memory, Call of Duty. But yeah, because of just that, UT Crew were able to get that first zone. You were right to assume. Feeling lucky. Might have to go get a scratch off from Corey Mill. But still, here it goes. It's going to be another offensive round win. Remember, Fantastic Four, they have artillery strikes to play with. It just comes down to working their way inside the B zone, and they hit it quickly.
Decimate looking for a potential flank here all the way through, trying to get into the opposition spawn, and, well, they're doing exactly what they did to the side of themselves the last round. It was Fantastic Four in round number 1 who got trapped in their spawn. UT Crew, well, they're facing the same fate. B gonna have 2 ticks of progress. They're gonna be able to get the entirety of it. Now the artillery barrage, just gonna be able to use it for information for the time being. So Decimate's gonna have 3 players all around. Gets away! Decimate finds 2. 1 more around over towards the side, falls to Methods, and now they're pushed up onto the point, and this is where you can use those artillery barrages to go ahead and rain hell from heaven above onto the side of UT Crew and force them off the point. There's fire, there's Decimate, as he'll find 1, 2, go down. Can you make it number 3? No, Maniac is there, but you've got 2 ticks a day, looking to go ahead and stack for the last one.
I mean, Methods is in the power spot, right? Fire goes down on that new contest spot up top. Slack is already here. Here comes the artillery strike, clearing out the exits. They can't even get to the zone, McCornmeal. UT Crew will lose out this control, but Fantastic Four, I tell you what, might just have to write a novel. And it might be a graphic one, as far as how to win an offensive on Garrison control, because again, as soon as I was talking about the win condition to be able to work their way towards B, they hit it again fast. They get a player inside of lights. They get a player zoning away over buys this shipment square. That's immediately threatening the rotation through Cobble over towards A. But most importantly, they were able to get the kills. Decimate off the respawn, goes up towards top green. And what do they do from there? Get 2 players over towards B. Obviously, the defensive team is going to try to defend A. That is the harder zone to take for an offensive team, but they just couldn't do it. The resources were just so well managed coming out just already from the pings and then the overall artillery strike to be able to seal the deal. That was beautiful for Fantastic Four to keep themselves alive in this series.
Slaying struggles for UT Crew at multiple points throughout that control were ultimately the downfall for their side, especially in that last round. It was 2 quick offenses for the side of Fantastic Four that really changed the entire complexion of this game proper, but more importantly, Slacked. What can you say about Slacked? Mutineers, I guess you say ex-mutineer, comes in here.
Still mutineer, technically.
Technically, yes, but ex-technical roster for the CDL mutineer comes and, well, I guess you could use the word obliterates in map number 3 and forces the hand of UT Crew for map number 4. And, well, you said beforehand, the Soviet brothers are going to be happy about these last 2 maps, potentially a game number 5 on the loom, but you've got to get past Moscow first and foremost. However, proper. If there's one map that the side of UT Crew is yet to be, I guess, put in a great light for, it's Moscow. And if you look at the side of Fantastic Four, well, technically it's their best map for Hardpoint.
It is, yeah. I mean, they are 1-1 on it after all, but that one loss that they did have was against BBG. Again, that happened yesterday, and that was about 9 seconds. It was 250 to 241. Was the win for BBG. I honestly, I was getting.
Well, they actually just beat NYSL on that map as well in map number 1 at the last set, so they're technically 2-1 now.
Yeah, I mean, I think this has got to be a comfort. And again, you are mostly relying on a creative nature that Slack was able to bring. You saw a lot of that positioning being exploited as far as Garrison is concerned. He's like that one ratty player in your league play matches when you turn court. Like, why are you there? Slack is playing those positions, and, well, quite frankly, it's working. So as long as you're able to at least find that for Fantastic Four, that is now one less player that you got to almost be aware of. That he's just kind of gone loose. They're gone rogue on the map, and Slack is looking great in that role right now. And as long as you can keep pushing that pressure, Moscow Hardpoint should be pretty good when you are thinking about rotations and breaks into 2, at least the setup into 4. If you can get at least gold control early towards Globe and get Methods inside that rustic bus with that long head glitch, yeah, man. I mean, this is going to look great for Fantastic Four, but it's all ifs. Fire was still struggling to find trades, but as long as Slack, as well as Methods, can be able to put in the work, I think that we're probably looking good here.
Map number 1, the score line was 224 to 203. And that came down to time proper. If there's one thing that the Fantastic Four did against NYSL is they bid themselves time. From start to finish. I think we went through 3 total rotations, and somehow we didn't even get to finish the game out. So with that being said, you look to the scoreboard, Methods 28 and 21. You'd expect the veteran AR player like Methods to be able to perform well on Moscow. That's exactly what you would hope for going into this next match. Same thing can be said for a couple of the other players on the map. Slack didn't have a great game, but didn't have an awful game at the same time. And you look to some of the other players on the team, everybody did their job getting in the hill time, and it was just a basic slaying fest for everybody on the team. Nobody really had an outstanding game per se. It was everybody just playing together, playing their trades, and being able to just buffer the scoreboard out between everybody there. And again, Hardpoint's a team game. So at the end of the day, you got a team like Fantastic Four who were able to dwindle this out of New York Subliners away, who was, I would say, one of the strongest Hardpoint teams in general throughout the entirety of Stage 3 so far.
Yeah, I think that's a fair argument right there. I think I'm mostly just looking at what individual players were able to do what on each one of these maps, and at least throughout these series, right? And I'm also having just minor flashbacks of the Raid Hardpoint, especially towards the end, of how it was just such a big lead for UT Crew, and then Fantastic Four, that they were really starting to find their strides, which it seemed to be unsaddled going in towards that Express Search and Destroy, but then got resaddled. Those horses were well fed, I tell you, and they just galloped their way as far as an offensive round win. And again, I think you just got to be looking at the vibes for the squad too. UT Crew on the other side of things. Again, you got 3 players that are very quite confident for them. How is Major Maniac feeling as far as the AR duo going in towards this matchup on Moscow Hardpoint? And then you got to think that there's got to be some sort of nuances that could be shared. Major Maniac's been playing a lot of these players, at least on this map, in a CDL format for quite some time, scrims included. So that might be able to at least give some interest for an already aggressive Yeez and Dylan Rex, who had a great map number 1. The same thing's got to be shown here if they want to close it out in 4 at least.
I think it will. I mean, realistically speaking, the reason the Fantastic Four got off to such a poor start in that Raid Hardpoint was because of those players who combined for 11 and 33 to start throughout the first set of rotations, and not even just the first set, but halfway through the second set as well, once we got all the way back over towards that P3 over by Garage. So proper, when you look at the side of Fantastic Four, sure, you've got a lot of players with a lot of talent who can slay out, who can be those number 1 options in terms of kills at any time on the map. But when you look at UT Crew, it's formality throughout the entire roster, to where it's not just one player that needs to have that breakout game. It's not just one player that is always going to have that upper advantage on another opponent. It's the entire team of UT Crew in their respawn, specifically against Fantastic Four, that has put them down to a point to where they're now down 2-1 in the series. And although it's a good control from the side of Fantastic Four, you still go to round number 5. Yes, you win the offense, but at the end of the day, how much does that supplement those first 2 maps? And what does that really do for your psyche going into another hard point here when, I mean, technically it is your best map, but you've been getting outslayed the entire series?
There's that too, and also for UT Crew, I have not really played this map, so I mean, I think you could rely on that, right? I mean, what's the day-old strategy of Call of Duty? Well, we're just gunning these fools, so let's just continue to play like that, right? I mean, if it works, it works, right? It's great. Just hit your shots. After all, at the end of the day, is what everybody tells me. It still doesn't work for me, at least, and for goodness sakes, I play on a mouse and keyboard, but still, I think at least that's got to be something that you are weary of in the back of your mind for Fantastic Four. But getting outslayed on that hard point, at least in the start, again, barring fire, at least towards the tail end, they were able to pick it up. Last time I was talking, they were like 5 and 17. I think they finished like 12 and 24. I mean, going double negative is better than triple negative, right? We take those W's, but still, I think for on the opposite side, Slacked as well as Decimate, that SMG duo, man, if they're hitting stuff together like we saw, at least from that Garrison control and towards the tail end of that Raid Hardpoint, that makes Method's job a little bit easier. They might not even need fire to be there for the trade. They could just go ahead and hold a different angle, because as long as everything's working from the front, then this might just be a very easy Moscow Hardpoint for Fantastic Four. But it's literally just that. It's a giant if. Because it's all the different things that we are saying, just put it inside a giant pot and just mixed up, and we have to be able to see what it actually is on both of these teams. I believe that the entire lobby is ready, and we're just about to hop inside this matchup to see if UT Crew can close it out in 4. Again, this is a pretty big matchup for Fantastic Four, all things included. Already looking at themselves as far as the standings are concerned, this win, as well as the one that they took over Subliners Academy, would put them in the mill run potentially towards that second place McCoy Mill, and the same could be said for UT Crew to remain towards the top, especially with this win, as well as beating Easter as well. But we'll have to see. One team's unfortunately got to lose. Somebody's going to be upset on Twitter.
UT Crew going to be able to get that second kill, or rather the first kill in the game here. First blood for Dylan Rex. Gets on back towards the point, but it is a set of Fantastic Four who were in towards point 1 originally. 15 seconds have ticked off, now make it 20, and as they start to push back on towards the hill thus far, it's been Fantastic Four who's won the majority of kills on the map thus far as Decimate starts to push up. Proper, you mentioned beforehand how it's going to fall in the hands of Decimate and Slack being able to play together in order to really win this map over for themselves, and thus far, although it's been contest heavy early on, they've gotten themselves a nice 19-second lead with their spawns and rotations towards P2.
Well, that's the old do-si-do, right, of Moscow Hardpoint. Sometimes, I would almost say most of the time, it'll go down to game clock, and that's because of P1, P4, it can be heavily contested from both the sides, but So looking at that overall battle for the P2 spawns, originally was Methods towards Globe. They will die. And along with Yeez putting themselves towards apartments and in control of P1, you got to be aware of that little situation because UT Crew, again, timely. Much like the opening of Raid Hardpoint, hit it through. They force Fantastic to spawn out. They're there for the initial time on a money hill.
Yeah, well, that hold for spawns did not last long.
No, it didn't.
At all.
Well, at least the whole hill. It was there. It was there all through P1.
You know, you're right. To a certain extent, sure. But overall, UT Crew, they break towards the back and they're able to find it. However, it's another reverse break for the side of Fantastic Four, but a team kill there with the Semtex is only going to leave Slack in the 1 versus 3 as the players from UT Crew start to push out. You've got player 1 rotating all the way back over towards the bank, so good for the side of Fantastic Four, an opportunity for spawns. However, they're still spawning over by Eskies if you are the side of UT Crew. So you're going to have a 3 versus 1 gunfight towards the back. 15 seconds of scrap time, tick off the clock for Fantastic Four. You're going to have about a 15-point lead as you get on over towards P3, but it's all going to come down to this gunfight in the back with Methods losing that to the up-close sub in Yeez. Now it's going to be an onslaught from the front.
Method's trying to think ahead for a 1v2 potentially, but it was just Yeez that was going to take them down, initially holding those library spawns. Again, a timely rotation will be there. Lost the gunfight at the most perfect moment, it would seem, over by P2. Means that you're spawning across the map. That is the unfortunate nature of Moscow Hardpoint. How convincing can you make this rotation happen? You can see Slack trying to at least block the spawns. They'll actually get one in as some kills are starting to come through the front. This has to be communicated, especially with Phantom spotting in towards escalators.
Absolutely. There's a ton of time left here for the side of UT Crew to be able to grab us, but more importantly for Fantastic Four to be able to steal away with the spawn breaks. But as Dylan Rex is able to find one, he'll look for the second one here too, and his fire will fall. Oh no! I thought fire would fall, but he gets the kill there on the Dylan Rex. UT Crew will still hold on to the scrap time, but you might need to tuck him in with a little bit of blankie and a bottle of milk and kiss him goodnight.
You absolutely do. They're 11-5 for goodness sakes. They're what? Just about 2 kills behind the other 3 players combined for Fantastic Four. Yeah, you might have to give them a nice little bedtime story, I suppose, McCormill. But UT Crew, again, as far as rotations are concerned, they were there in towards 2. Timely break in there for the initial towards P3 got broken, and they're here towards P4. But here come Fantastic Four. Again, it's the breakthrough gold. That's the most potent. And you snuffed out Major Maniac in the back. That's the win condition set. Methods is already hitting forward. Somehow wins that gunfight versus Phantoms out for finding one as well. And Fantastic Four, what a great break on 4.
What happened to Fire? It felt like there was really no impact on the series, and then all of a sudden in a map where they need to force a game 5, he comes alive. And again, we kind of talked about how Fire was almost a last-minute decision here for Fantastic Four, and as they continue to push up the map, Slack starting to go ahead and catch himself a bit of fire, 5 in a row. Doesn't necessarily spot out the player in towards B, but realistically speaking, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Fire right now. If he can continue this throughout the rest of the map, and more importantly, carry it into a potential map number 5, whoo, we're in for a treat.
And Fire saw that first hardpoint, KD, and looked himself in the mirror in between maps 3 and 4 and said, never again. Came in here and just absolutely lights out. 15-6 for them. It's about triple positive. I think the biggest question and concern is unfortunate is how spaced out some of those kill streaks were. But when you have an AR flex just going off on Moscow, you got to think about those long lines of sights that open up the floor and the floodgates for the SMGs. But they got to find the kills. Again, one of the woes, at least from the hard point of pass on raid, is at least fixed. But Decimate, double negative, 6 and 13. SMGs got to at least get it further online if Fantastic Four want to run away with it. That given, they still have about a 16-point lead, but can't threaten the spawns towards P2.
Fantastic Four were able to break over towards P2 the last time they had these offside spawns. However, they were able to get a bunch of time in point number 1, which really kind of offset anything that the side of UT Crew were able to grab over towards P2 before the eventual P3 rotations. But really, after we mentioned the side of Fantastic Four being able to turn up in the slaying department, it's been all the side of UT Crew ever since. Another 4 down, and they'll spawn over towards the Eskies. 55 seconds left in towards this point. A lot of time to be gamed for either of these 2 teams, but if Phantom plays his life and around the corner with Yeez's help over the top, it's going to be damn hard to break in towards that point. Dylan Rex in middle map, 100. UT Crew take the first lead of the game since point number 2.
That's just so unfortunate, right? You end up killing a Fantastic Four member, you pick up their Crick 6, and now you're finding value with it in this power position, and we'll find at least another few. Rex will go down towards that very powerful position, but we're just down to scrap time. and Fantastic Four are trying to threaten it. You need someone to try to block those spawns. That seems what Fire is going to try to do. If this gunfight loses itself convincingly, no, UT Crew are able to hold on just about to every last second of it. It was about a solid 50 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe a contested time, but not only are they going to walk away with the lead, but a certain amount of map terrain would have been a big kill, but at least the trade comes through.
Decimate will look back over towards middle. Yeez is going to be pushing up through the map. Dylan Rex, this is what we're kind of akin to seeing from him throughout pretty much every map and mode. 19-10, was 19-9 on a 3 spree before Fire was able to get him and cut him down, playing over from the bus. But this is a great angle to watch that cross from middle map. However, as that player does fall, players can now push up freely through middle map. And well, what was a great hold from Fantastic Four, and the spawns within 15 seconds, it all flashes before their eyes. And the UT Crew break for spawns, break for the hill, and proper. This could, it possibly could be the dagger here inside of this game.
Might be more than that. Inside the game, the series, the entire day, the vibes going into tomorrow. Oh my god, I could go all day. Dylan Rex, though, could go all night. 22-10 for them is having themselves quite the day here on Moscow Hardpoint. As soon as I say that, Fire will finally get some retribution. On the opposite side, they are 21-13, but again, your eyes get immediately glued to Decimate. 7-20, a non-benefactor here on the Hardpoint. And you would think, as far as breaks are concerned, again, an AR can only do so much as far as breaks. The SMGs combined have 18 kills, can't even rival what Rex or Fire are putting on the board, or even for the opposite SMGs, but Slack might be listening. Here's number 2. How about number 3? Rex was on the side inside the bar. We'll, of course, find that trade, but how long are you going to stay alive? The answer, not likely.
You get in the hill. You got 40 seconds left to work with here. Opportunities to get a few more kills over towards the front, but as the pinstripe kill feed does come through, UT Crew get this out of Fantastic Four out of the hill. That's big, because although this out of Fantastic Four did have the rotations, did have the advantage after that first break, you basically allowed 20 seconds of hill time to go dormant for neither team to go ahead and find it. And once again, it's still going to be dormant hill time. And now if you're UT Crew, you break in for 15 seconds. You should be able to put yourselves right at the cusp of 200 points. And you're forcing Fantastic Four not only to have the spawns in middle map, but be able to lock down P1 time and get over towards P2 to find themselves back in the game.
2 minutes on the game clock, too. It's always got to get noted here on Moscow. There's still an ample amount of time to be able to close it out. But watch out. The second you get closer towards that 200-point margin for UT Crew, you might just awaken the last soundtrack in the mix for Fantastic Four on this hardpoint. They might just go godlike mode. Slack has been finding a lot of good 2 pieces. Has been opening up the space for at least Fire and methods to work forward. Is playing the angle. We'll at least find one. Phantom's there for the trade, but it's all about these trades. Sure, this is almost reminiscent towards the first set of hills. They're not winning the gunfights. Fantastic Four towards the center of the map. Fire playing a big money spot as far as the cutout wall is concerned, but those are big kills. Again, when it came down towards the first set, you remember McCormill, 10 seconds left alive inside the hardpoint. UT Crew hit it through. They were able to flip the spawns. Can't let that happen.
Oh no, here comes Dylan Rex to the back. Oh, he wins 2. Still Fantastic Four spawn over towards the street, but they're looking at player number 1 all the way back over towards the bus. Decimate wins a huge one. Slack there as well. Fire around the side. Major Maniac is there. And as Decimate starts to fly up through the map, it is going to be that last kill that solidifies those spawns. Fantastic Four looking for potentially a full 60. And even though those contests do come through, they've got Fire, who did spawn up across the map, being able to play this globe, being able to play the statue, and just trying to remain thorn on the side of UT Crew while they try to get back towards the point.
A full 50 will put them over 200 and in the lead as well, but Yeez will find a trade that's towards the cutout wall, and now able to find a second. How about number 3? Here comes Yeez. 22-17, got the regen. Very tough shots over towards Fire on top PD, but help has arrived. UT Crew, and again, they're just being a nuisance. Just contesting the hard point for as long as possible, knowing that they're going to spawn with the rotation, but Fire is now on kill number 30, a 3 spree for them. 30-19, they're going to push through Metro.
Proper, you cried for Fire to have a great game in map number 4. He is doing just that. With the scrap time, they'll put themselves in the lead here by just a slim margin. Actually, will probably be just by about maybe 1 point here. But nonetheless, they're going to have a tall order in front of them, being able to break in towards the back. Players also struggling for the side of Fantastic Four, but look where Yee spawns all the way in back, PD. 3 versus 3 at the front. Should be a 4 versus 2 with the kill coming on himself. And now it's just a 1 versus 4 as player number 6 in Dylan Rex, the last one, back over towards Library. He'll find the kill, and there's the time for Fantastic Four.
And again, that comes down to Major Maniac inside the Russell bus. They were inside that power position, had 2 players through L. That's all happened off screen. but then they get caught in a 2v1 and they take their own life. You gotta at least find one there. But here comes Phantoms on the backside with a whole bunch of teammates in tow. Fire inside of L again is on one. Give them kill number 33. How about more challenges from the front? No, it's Major Maniac still from the flank. Numbers might be too much to bear. 23 seconds remaining inside this hill for number 3. As we'll call for a rotation over towards P4. UT Crew, they understand that. They're looking to zone away Golden Boulevard.
Last time Fantastic Four were put in a position where they needed to clutch up in a comeback proper. They only lost that game by 50 points. This time, a much more manageable 60-point gap between these two teams allows them to have an advantage going into point number 4. However, as they find 2, UT Crew on their back foot. You push the side of Fantastic Four against the wall. They're going to fight back with the firepower. Decimate finds the kill there. Fire over the top looking for a few kills, but it's Methods who's there. Fire finds the kill. Dylan Rex, the last line, the last hope for the side of UT Crew. And as Yeez actually pushes through the back, he's going to be able to find one. They get him out of the hill for time now. 7 seconds left to win the game.
Yeez was able to win that 1v1 versus Slack. The movement is absolutely stellar. It's trying to keep their life. Of course, no flak jacket was left. Fire's going to be able to claim that with a Semtex, but this is still good time. Methods has one down low. Will eat a Semtex. The challenge is still going to be able to win it. Zinni with a sub. Now has a double weapon setup, and it's got some streaks. Going to call in the artillery strike. It's just one off from getting that cruise missile. Phantoms is going to try to zone away inside the time. 3 kills come through.
Dylan Rex, you've got to be the thorn. You're not going to be able to do it. Fantastic Four, despite all odds, stay pretty much perfect on Moscow. Force a game number 5. The Cinderella story for the reverse sweep is still very much intact here proper. We're going to be going to Moscow once again for map number 5.
Fantastic Four, they got reverse swept by BBG yesterday. They're like, hey, that syrup looks pretty good. I would like to try that flavor. Thank you very much. And now they're getting a little bit of a taste here. Going towards a Moscow search and destroy next, but I gotta really hand it to it again. I really don't want it to be a joke, but it really seems to be the actual factor. The moment the UT Crew got closer towards 200 points, I mean, there was a lot of life that was being shown earlier on, mostly by Fire through the early sets of hills for Moscow Hardpoint, at least from Fantastic Four's perspective. But towards the end, I mean, Desi started piecing. You saw Methods was really starting to do a good job of finding themselves a lot of good trades. And then we also had Slack, who again was just getting rather creative and finding the openings. Any help was necessary to help Fire, who drops 35 plus kills. Mind you, they went like 12 and 24 in the opening hardpoint of Raid. What a turnaround for them. And certainly the momentum has to shift their way as the reverse sweep is definitely on the cards.
You win 2 offensive rounds into control on Garrison, and then all of a sudden, the series seems to be in your favor, even though you're down 1-2 against a team that just comes off a 3-0 sweep over the side of Easter. UT Crew coming into this after maps number 1 and 2, it was utter domination. We didn't see any wavering inside of their gameplay whatsoever until we got into that map number 3 for control. And as we see and take a look at our map set thus far, we can see that really map number 1 was closely contested at the end, sure, but it was a walkaway at the very beginning for the side of UT Crew. Express S&D, we really don't need to say much about it. It was a 6-1 thrashing. Then, as it stands though, when they needed to go ahead and find themselves in the series, backs against the wall, a 3-2 win on Garrison control with 2 offensive rounds at the end gives them the advantage. Then they go to Moscow for the hardpoint, 250-201, like we just saw there in proper. Now going to a map number 5. Fantastic Four has been in 2 situations where they've needed to win a map number 5 to win the series. And unfortunately, they've lost it twice on Express. It was a 4-6 and a 1-6 in those situations. Do they have the ability to have the clutch gene here? Do they have the ice in their veins? But most importantly, can they ride this wave of momentum that is brought in, basically raised fuel to the fire to most epic proportions that we've seen throughout this best of 5 series?
UT Crew, although being 6-0 in Search and Destroy, that's all through Elite Stage 3 thus far. Impressive, have not played Moscow Search and Destroy at least through Elite Stage 3. Fantastic Four on the other side, again, have also not played it. They are currently 4-2 overall for Search and Destroy. But, I mean, you're just hoping, again, that some of the trades are going to end up being there. You got to worry about the flanks and all the different crosses that could be available. Because if there's one thing, at least that you could take away, if you're just not joining us, I will at least fill you in, at least from the Express Search and Destroy. Rex and Yeez, we're just finding way too many openings, way too many first bloods, way too many angles, and winning gunfights, honestly, that they probably had no business doing, barring a fantastic clutch from Phantoms. Keep in mind, I don't know why McCormick said we had nothing to talk about from that Express Search and Destroy, because Phantoms just sauced on a few people. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I think for, at least for Fantastic Four, we have to see not only just core fundamentals, not only previous pros in a quite important game mode that is Search and Destroy, but also just to play together, play for those trades. We saw that happen towards the end of that Moscow hardpoint where they were playing crosses, they were looking ahead on them as far as the game clock is concerned, and just trying to at least play together. That has to exist on Moscow Search and Destroy. And hey, it wouldn't help if the submachine guns find a kill or two. It wouldn't hurt. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. It doesn't hurt.
There's one highlight that you missed from the S&D, and it was Fire, once again, having a lackluster performance in the S&D.
That's not a highlight.
Well, it might not be. It may be a low light, sure, but a talking point, sure. We'll put a we'll put a talking point in there, sure. But with the struggles that he had inside of map number 2, and what we saw there from the hard point, as I said beforehand, when you put a rat in a corner, it's going to find a way to escape. And what did Fire do there? He escaped. He got out. He started frying. He started playing extremely well to at least the levels that we know he's capable of doing. Now in the S&D, can you do that once again? Can you do it one more time here in this best of 5 series? Can you have a map that we know that you're capable of having with an AR in your hand? Absolutely. It's Moscow Search and Destroy. ARs are going to reign supreme watching these crosses proper. And although you got to get your SMGs over towards that A site, don't be scared. Don't be shy if we see a couple of B pushes going the way of Fantastic Four early on.
I think that's also an interesting talking point too. If anybody wonders why we're still rambling, I'm sure there's probably just that one goofball in chat that's probably telling us to start the match.
Game.
We have everybody in the lobby. It's fine. The match is going to be starting soon. Just relax. But I think it's a great talking point as well. The overall with the meta shift, we talk about it with weapons, movement, win conditions, whatever. But Moscow Search and Destroy. You remember at the early going, moving the Search and Destroy site regardless. Yeah. Always just the aggressive hits. Maybe you put the one casual player through Metro to go up from the backside of escalators, and that was most of the offensive hit. You would rarely see B. Hell, even when it was moved inside of the apartments, you still would rarely see B, but teams started to adapt. Teams started to learn what it actually takes to be able to work their way over towards that B site, and it is hellacious to retake. If you can get the player defensively that's holding underneath the bus to shoot some toes, if you can get that opening player globe inside of the cutout wall, there's a lot of win conditions that were being able to be found. But now we go back and forth between the two. And again, it comes down to that one slot I was talking about, McCormick. I want to see some creativity from both of the teams. You almost have to think that whichever team is going to be able to get creative and keep the other on their toes might just be able to find the opening, at least in later rounds. But in the early going, mostly looking at these semtaxes and flashes, right? You don't have any trophy systems. Might just use them pretty early on to be able to find some openings. But at least for Fantastic Four, not going to find much at all through this courtyard. Phantom's in a great spot to read this cross, though.
What I say, don't shy away. Don't be afraid of Fantastic Four. Go right over towards B, right off the rip, and try to get aggressive. Decimate's going to fly on in. Phantom's made a very aggressive challenge to come back from the platform to get into B. Won't be able to find anything except it for information. So now the retake does come through for the side of UT crew. Got to make it work with about 40 seconds left.
And again, such a hard site to try to retake. Ease. It's been the entry SMG of your fantasy team. Is going to throw some bows. Now the double challenge is in. Phantom's going to be able to find the one on to Desi, but Slacks is going to be the remaining player, 2v2.
Slack finds a kill. 1 versus 2 now. 25 seconds remaining. Plenty of time remaining here on the clock. As Dylan Left looks around towards the right, he's going to be able to find one there onto Fire. Checks back over towards the left. You got to be able to find Slack, who's just playing inside of the corner, out and towards middle. You're going to do the exact same thing we saw last time. It was Phantoms who laid down on the bomb. This time, Slack's going to bring the gunfight to him, but somehow, some way, once again, UT crew win a round where they have 0.5 seconds left to get the defuse on an aggressive challenge that comes at the right time from Fantastic Four. Oh, proper.
He wasn't even weak. There was an ample amount of time for a regen to come through. I mean, Rex just walks in, rock bottoms him all the way through that tile floor. You see all that trash on the floor? Yeah, that's Slack's dead body, essentially, as we watch their best play of the game, which was great, by the way. But again, even in those win conditions, you go back to Express Search and Destroy. First Bloods, having coverage over towards the BS&D site, which again is very tough to retake. It doesn't matter. UT crew, they're able to just bully their way in. This time it was Rex that finds 3. as a great retake of the BS&D site, barring some majestic heroics. It's going to be a 2-2 split now for UT Crew's offense. They're going to have 2 players up towards the escalator side. The bomb is being carried by Yeez, and they do have some help, keep in mind, you for Major Maniac. They want Metro.
Fire passive middle map, playing the platform, slacked up the staircase, won't be able to find anything except a couple of shots there from Yeez and a flying teammate. Well, Yeez, why don't you just go ahead and find 2? Methods look for the shots on the Mac. He'll go ahead and find a 2-piece of his own, equate that out, but here comes fire. Here goes fire, baby. Sparks in the back, lights up and ignites. Fantastic 4. They got on the board.
I mean, just wow. I wish I spoke Russian so I could say someone call an ambulance, because that is essentially what is needed, because fire, again, drops 35 plus in that Moscow hardpoint. It was a lot of that. Great challenges, quality shots. Answer back for a defense of their own. Fantastic 4 shut the door in UT Crew's face for their A push. It was a phenomenal setup. Now they come through with another offense. They're going to put fire in that position to see if they can catch any players pushing through A. They're not necessarily giving them anything. Rex is going to throw a couple shots from escalators. They get nothing from the pillar side. So Fantastic 4 are essentially still going towards B blind.
Methods around the corner. Phantoms will get called out, but Major Maniac in middle map will be able to get the best of Decimate before the player Methods is able to go ahead and find the kill. Somehow, Fire loses that to Major Maniac as well. So now, Methods alive in a 1 versus 3. They got 2 players converging on the position. Maniac, the headshot over the top, and well, quick round. Quick round.
Look, and again, they're going in blind. You have what? All the information that you ate some shots from the top side of escalators over by that jump peak. Other than that, what do you really have? I can't really atone for any of this of the tacticals, lethals that were thrown towards Globe, because it was that position alone that blew it up. Slack just runs straight out in the open through courtyard, gets smoked. And the trade was there, keep in mind you, but you still had players inside of Metro while you were just blindly pushing on the Boulevard side. When condition was already set in UT Crew, they didn't do anything fancy. Alex, Fantastic 4 were just kind of flirting with disaster. Gotta find that information. Going in towards a 4th round here, UT Crew will at least find themselves as a 1-round buffer. The offensive push for them this time around, we'll see a 2-2 push, but the bomb this time is actually already going towards A.
Trophy systems out over the top. Dylan Rex just looking to get some information on the opponents. Phantoms around the corner should have been able to spot on Methods there, but they're going to know that someone's playing over towards the docks because they are playing a bit passive here. Decimate looking for the push in through middle map. This time, though, proper. They've got the bomb over towards A, and they've got 2 players looking to make a play through middle map. Fire, once again, could be the thorn in the side if he's able to make that pinch play back through middle map work if he doesn't spot these 2 players out.
And again, it's that information trade, right? You find a lot, but as soon as you still try to work your way in, Rex gets dropped. Now, a life advantage. Fire catches Major Maniac trying to go inside the cutout wall. You would hope the trade might be there, but Fire...
Oh.
I almost thought I was going to be able to win one, but that is a tough opponent versus Yeez, who is now in a 1v3.
And that's just not going to work out in their favor. Basically, it was almost a 1 versus 4 when he gets that final kill there onto Fire. More importantly, it's 2-2. And as we keep going through these rounds, it's been the same pattern every single round. The defensive side has been able to prevail, although it's come down to some very close calls here and there.
It's been close for sure. It's almost what you expect. Game 5 situation there. It could technically be a lot riding for these 2 teams as far as overall placement is concerned, given how the rest of the round robin stage goes, as far as knockout or already going inside that playoff bracket, sitting where they're at, and the wins on the day and the losses that they've already faced. But here come Fantastic 4. Love this aggressive A hit. UT Crew, they would be caught off guard if they didn't have 3 players here already.
Semtex in, trophy system out. It's going to be able to block that and deter that for the time being. Bees, you've got to be careful right here. You've got a couple players pushing around the corner. You're going to be able to find one Major Maniac over the top. Every player from the side of UT Crew except one going to be able to find a kill there in that round. And once again, same tale goes forward. Defense, 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 defense. That's 5, right? I think I counted 5.
Sure. Yeah, I'm honestly, I wasn't counting. I don't feel like taking off my socks to count that high, to be completely honest with you, McCory Mill. But even so, I think...
Don't go back to the mittens on me, please.
Okay. I actually forgot of that entire... what was it, the hot tubs, the mittens? There was a lot that happened last night, all right? Listen.
Learned a lot about those 2 different things, probably.
Again, UT Crew, they already had 3 players strong over there. They would have been caught off guard if they didn't already go for the read. now for UT Crew, both teams just searching for an offensive round win. Player number 7 is going to be Rex. They're going to be the first player to actually cross towards Boulevard, but on board with Fire. This is one of those nerdy angles. They could blow this play open very quickly.
Not only do you see that player jump over towards the right side of the bus, but you can see the little feet under it as well. Almost looking like the Flintstones, in a sense. As Fire gets some shots over the top, Phantoms will be there to get the first blood of the round, 4-3. UT Crew with the advantage for the first time on the offensive side. It looks like an offense, despite it being spread out, we're going to wrap it back over towards A, potentially get the bomb down, but more importantly, win a round. Well, maybe Methods has something to say about it, and he almost does. Here comes the pinch, though, proper.
Pinch is in. Yee's full regen doesn't come through. Methods' perfect timing is just going to leave poor Phantoms in a 1v3. It'll be a 1v4 given that they found that first blood onto a prone Fire over by the Boulevard. The bomb dropped over by Pillars. There's just no way. 15 seconds, you're finding 3 kills. Plus that bomb plant. Against 3 former pros, just keep your life. Don't even need a challenge. There's the Semtex. Going to clear the mouth. Phantom's got to push. That's going to be the entire round exhausted. And again, defense for defense. And it looked pretty good, right? When you think about it from UT Crew's perspective, you get that first blood onto Fire. And you try to make the Hail Mary play of trying to rotate all the way through. And you get caught out. The defensive players, they're just essentially trying to play for the retake over by B if it does go that way. But even when the pinch attempted to come through, timing, the shots, all accurate for Fantastic Four.
Well, as we're at a 3-3 head-to-head, standstill, basically back at 0-0 with just a few separate rounds. Cutting it short here. It's important to note here, proper, both of these teams looking to get ahead in head-to-head wins over the other. It's a round robin to get into the playoffs. The top 6 teams in terms of record will qualify for the playoffs here in Stage 3. Each team only plays each other once in Fantastic Four. They're sitting at 2-2 right now. A win here would be huge to put them up to 3-2. UT Crew, they would drop to 3-2 if they lost, but a 4-1 record would be at the helm if they were able to win it. 4-3 in the round, though. As UT Crew starts to push out, it's going to be Yeez with 2 once again. Why wouldn't it be Yeez who finds 2, proper?
It's just in that power spot. Immediately, just challenges, catches, Methods, just prone, rips their head off. It's able to find a sec. You'll see it happen one more time. It's this power position right here. Some shots already come through. You can backtrack it, and the communication coming out as well. And then turn and burn on Slack. That's the one that's impressive as well. Because if Yeez goes down, Slack is able to stay alive. The contest, at least from that spot alone, might not have been there for 2 seconds or so. And I don't even know if you want to challenge that, given having another player inside of Escalators and the lack of control, I suppose. But a nice defensive round yet again. All defense through 7 rounds. Well, round number 8 suggests anything. If it's part of the course, it'll be another defensive round win. I mean, Fantastic Four, they sent 3 players over towards A. Fire's alone over inside B apartments, potentially to be able to see players crossing from the Boulevard, but UT Crew, they're looking to get creative through Metro.
I mean, this has been pretty much the setup every time for Fantastic Four on the defensive side. You send Fire over towards B, you got the rest playing either towards A or in a position to rotate back over towards B if the bomb does go through that way. But this is really the first time we've seen UT Crew get really aggressive over towards B, and well, for good reason. Decimate finally goes ahead, gets a little big breakout round there, finds 2 kills. We knew he wouldn't stay quiet for long. And as they look for the last 2 players, bomb is down in towards the B-bomb window. It's a very difficult situation to win for the side of UT Crew.
And that was just a beautiful rotation overall. Major Maniac's going to try to hit this from the Boulevard side, but down to 30 seconds. Phantoms is just so aware of the flank that it's just wasting more time for the AR duo for UT Crew to try to work their way for this side. The second that Major Maniac inchworms their way around the corner, they'll get dropped. Phantoms not long for this round at all. Fantastic Four, again, another defensive round. We'll tie it up 4 apiece, but again, it's the rotation that matters the most. So the second that Yeez gets sought out from that square, backed by P2 McCormill, all the way inside of Metro, that confirms the call. They got no pushback, those 3 players over by A that you were talking about for Fantastic Four. So they immediately rotate over by square. Slack gets some great timing to be able to see through that cutout wall, and then Decimate just goes inside the site, plays the bomb heady so well to be able to find those 2 kills. And it's all just a snowball from there on out. So in towards another offensive round. Fantastic Four. Bomb carrier Slack is actually already inside the goal. They hit this so fast. They might just be here first, but they don't go all the way to the window. The lone defender for this site right now, McCormill, is Phantoms, and they're a little bit closer towards the Boulevard than towards that B site.
Will we see an offensive round throughout the entirety of our Moscow S&D? That is the question on everybody's mind. But more importantly, who will take the series? Will it be UT Crew after losing the last 2 maps? Will it be Fantastic Four to complete the Cinderella story? Reverse sweep? Yet to be told, but here comes a rotation back over towards B proper. They've got 2 players at each site respectively, waiting for pushes, waiting for plays to happen. They basically have the entirety of inside of B for free right now, but they've got an opportunity to pinch it.
Well, they're trying to work their way into and just trying to clear the corners. Phantoms is in that nerdy spot. Oh, find some opening shots, giving away their position. Slack finds first blood.
Here comes Phantoms. Back in towards the site. Shots over the top. They should actually be able to get this bomb down because he's not going to be willing to slide in towards the site. So Phantoms and the rest of UT Crew now, they're going to have to push back in a 2 versus 4. It's happened beforehand, but this could be the first offensive round win and put Fantastic Four at map point. Series point. Phantoms in the back, looking for shots. Won't be able to find it. 30 seconds left. Here comes Yeez through the door proper. Can they find the kills? Shot punches there. Yeez escapes with his life, but with 22 seconds left, you've got to find the defuse. You've got to find the kills, and Fantastic Four are playing this perfect.
Oh, Phantoms just hits it, and Yeez finds another. It's a 2v1.
Oh.
Methods versus Yeez. 11
again.
seconds on the board. Methods just has to keep their life. There's just not enough time to find the kill, plus the defuse as well. Methods plays it wonderfully. No replay of Express Search and Destroy. No knock this time at all. As Zinni was just playing the Boulevard. You'll see it from their perspective. Was able to find the trade on the Phantoms, who makes a heads-up play with a 74U. Just a hit out from the Boulevard exit. But again, just playing the clock, knowing when Yeez had to go ahead and find the trade. The last bit of information, I totally get Yeez checking towards that break-off towards PD, but Methods just plays that backside, just waits for the regen, checks the bomb timely, wonderfully played out. And again, this goes back to almost to the Garrison control. This is a team that wins the first offensive round, just going to snowball uncontrollably. We'll see from Fantastic Four's perspective. It's been all defense to that very moment. UT Crew, they got to win this offense to send to a round 11.
Will we be back to trading rounds here proper? One can only hope so for the sake of a round 11. Yeez around the corner. Teammate's going to get traded out instantaneously. The trophy is there to block. They've got 2 Semtex coming through. Yeez has to be careful. Will back off, but fire in middle map is there. Last one alive. Major Maniac can't find the kill. Fantastic Four win 2 late rounds in a row. Win 3 maps in a row. And they will beat the side of UT Crew and complete the reverse sweep.
It's just that. It's the reverse sweep, man. Like that was on the cards the second that we saw them utilizing those streaks on that Garrison control for offense. That was definitive, decisive, and everything else in between that you would expect, and that carried over into the Moscow hardpoint, all the way into the end there on the search and destroy. Again, It was finding those trades. It was being able to find those openings. It was a very slow start as the Moscow search and destroy is concerned, at least for one name, Decimate, but still being able to play that role in the later rounds was something that you can lean on. Most importantly, Fire was able to turn the entire series around. You got to look out for this guy to be able to do something like that. And from going 12 and 24 in the opening hardpoint on Raid, from dropping an almost 40 bomb on the Moscow or on the Garrison Moscow hardpoint, and the Garrison control wasn't bad at all. And to the work that we were seeing them as a sole defender over towards B, that was wonderful stuff. And what a turnaround at the end of the day for Fantastic Four. Pro players for a reason, ex-pros, whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. They got the ice.
It's interesting too. That's they've been on the hand of a reverse sweep, and they've gotten a reverse sweep already.
They literally
thus
got
far,
reverse sweep like 24 hours ago.
Yeah,
by
so
BBG.
yeah, and that was an unfortunate series because not only did they somehow come back and win map number 1 on the Moscow, which was a crazy comeback. They win that raid to search and destroy after the fact, but barely lose 2-3 on the raid control, which they very easily could have won in that regard as well. It was once again close, but realistically speaking, this was a huge map for Fantastic Four. Now at 3-2, BBG, or rather, excuse me, not BBG, NYSL at 3-1. They technically have the lead right now, but for example, when you look at the side of UT Crew, they're now at 3-2 as well. So we've got a huge 3-way tie here inside of the Challengers Elite for North America. And this only makes playoffs in the chase for it that much more interesting as we continue to get past these round robins.
It absolutely does too. And again, unfortunately, we couldn't get inside of Easter versus Triumph. I will let you know that Easter were actually able to take that match 3-2 versus Triumph. That went to map number 5. We're unfortunately unable to get inside there. 250 to 211 checkmate hardpoint, 250 164 Garrison hardpoint. At a round 11 checkmate search and destroy. Oh man, it was a crazy match and a 3-1 on the checkmate control.
I can't believe that.
For Easter's
How did we
favor.
not get in there? Oh. Man,
I'm gonna have to try to see if there was any personal streams for that one too. I would love to see some
I hope so.
perspective as far as what Easter looked like at the end of the day, as far as how the start of it all ended up going. But I mean, you're right, man. When you talk about the overall standings and where this kind of say it sets the pace and where everybody currently sits at. I mean, I believe this is a 3-way tie almost for second, if I'm doing math correctly, which I barely ever do. And at least for first place, UT Crew will be there, given the loss that Subliners Academy were able to find today. And I believe on map count alone, that actually favors for UT Crew. I could be wrong, but even still, that's a crazy up top battle. And at the end of it, first and second place automatically inside that playoff bracket. 3rd through 6th will go inside a knockout bracket at the end of round robin. And the battle for second place just might be a brutal one.
Oh, proper. Oh, proper. As Challengers Elite starts the community to heat up, I mean, folks, I don't know about you, but I think I've fallen in love with a lot of these teams. I'm in love.
You hooked on the feeling of NA Challengers, man? I mean, they got a lot of personalities, right?
It's dug deep into my heart. I mean, if Call of Duty wasn't already a mainstay for me, Challengers even more so now than it was beforehand, and that's hard to come by. Folks, I urge you, if you have not been paying attention to Challengers, if you are new to watching Challengers and Call of Duty, head over to COD Gamepedia. Check out a couple of the statistics. Check out like all the stuff that's gone on throughout Challengers and stuff like that. Try to get yourself acquainted with some of the best teams. Go through some of the Challengers Cups. Go through some of these Elites. Go through some of the Opens. And you will find who, realistically speaking, is one of the most consistent teams or the most consistent players over the course of the year. Find a team that you like. Find a player that you like. Vibe out. Enjoy it. Because Challengers is a absolute bloodbath. And everybody is hungry. Everybody.
It's everybody's year, McCormill. Everybody's got something to prove, right? Even when you're looking at certain teams that are still playing, even on North America standpoint, right? We're looking at LHG Academy. They unfortunately got a few losses, at least through the opening days of games, and didn't look too strong today. Same could be said for Triumph. They didn't look very comfortable at all, at least through matchups. Can't close it out in map number 5 through many different teams, one of which was Fantastic Four in four maps, and then, of course, that Easter Barn Burner that I was just talking about in 5 maps as well. But there's a lot of personalities across the board. You were quite literally staring at the future of CDL. How many players have already come from Challengers going to play in CDL for the first time back into the pro scene as well? They all get that bread and butter. They all get that experience and practice right here in Challengers.
It is a great place to be if you're playing Call of Duty. No matter where you are, you could be at the bottom of the barrel right now and trying to work your way up, or you could be at the upper echelon like these teams are here inside of the Challengers Elite. Folks, that's going to do it for the broadcast tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming out on behalf of myself, Proper, everybody that puts on these community streams, and of course, IHOLDSHIFT. Love you, big guy. Big Alan. Everybody say I love Alan in chat real quick. Just real quick. Sport on the production. Either way works. But once again, folks, North American Challengers Elite Stage 3 round robins still going on. You can catch everything and more for Challengers at youtube.com/COD Challengers. That'll take you to the actual, I guess, main page for all Challengers and all things Challengers. But again, on behalf of myself and Propercast, thank you guys for coming out to the stream. Sport Down Away producing. Thank you so much. Stay safe. We'll see you the next time.